All right, good evening, everyone. Madam Clerk, the time is 7:01.
It is now 7:01, and I'd like to call the regular Township Council meeting to order. Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilman Anderson, not present at this time. Councilwoman McIntosh,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Present.
Mayor Whitfield.
Present. Please all stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk.
Thank you. All right. We will all open up with our prayer from Ms. Eusebius Diggs, our Chief of Finance.
We pray, O God, that you will give our governing body wisdom, understanding, and patience as they deliberate on the welfare and the well-being of this town. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for all that you have done and continue to do in our lives. We bless you now in Jesus' mighty name. We have prayed with thanksgiving.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Diggs. All right, so we're going to move right along with our meeting. We had an exciting day today. Today is actually Youth and Government Day. So myself as the mayor and Deputy Mayor Worthy met with about 18 high school students at the JFK Center to expose them to different careers within the municipality. They went through some workshops and activities where they got to interact with township officials and ask questions of myself and the deputy mayor and all that were there. The sessions were focused on public safety, where they met with two detectives, planning and zoning, where they met with our senior code official or zoning official, and then also recreation, where they met with our recreation lead, or not lead, director. Thank you. The word escaped me. Our recreation director, Gary Lowry. So at this time, I'll have our students come up to the mic and talk about their experience today. Please introduce yourself. We're going to do the same thing we did. So introduce yourself, what grade you're in, and your plans.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Carla Sanchez Ramirez. I'm a junior, and after high school, I would like to go either into criminal justice or medical terminology.
Hello, my name is Natalia Hanna, and I'm a junior, and after high school, I want to be an educator.
So tell us, ladies, about what you got out of the event today.
You like to? Go first.
So today I was in two workshops. I was in planning and zoning and also public safety. The one that intrigued me more was public safety with the detectives. Today I learned about how to not profile in a case, and our case was about a stolen book bag. And the book bag was on the ground. We got shown a picture, and we had to all remember what was in the picture for 30 seconds. And after the 30 seconds, we decided to discuss. We discussed it amongst each other, and we were actually really close to what was actually happening. And in that station, I feel like it really intrigued me more to pay attention to certain details and also to not profile anybody and also make sure no one is guilty until proven innocent.
Very nice. Thank you.
Today I met with the recreation director, and I met with the mayor and deputy mayor, and we talked about a lot of Like you have to make decisions and you can't always like able to support everything that each other thinks. So you have to discern what each part of the town it needs most. And sometimes it's like telling us basically what it means to the mayor and to be a mayor and to be the leader, and that why it's so important is because you need to be able to like each city has its own voice and it has different needs. So to be able to get its needs and have everyone's voice everyone's voice reached out, it's important to have those people there. And recreation is just to how so we can bring more people to Willingboro, have people bring different families, and just build it into a better community.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions for our students? All right. Thank you, ladies. We hope you enjoyed today. And thank you for coming and sharing this evening.
Thank you.
Feel free to stay. Okay, and now we will move on to our manager's update. Mr. Harris is out today, so our deputy manager, Ivy Carmichael, will be giving the report this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of the council, and Willingboro residents. We do have two directors here who are going to give their reports today, but I'll, before they come up, I'll just give you, since last time we met, for the month of April, our Public Works Department has been preparing various locations to get them ready for our summer use. So public, you will see that windscreens have been installed at Mill Creek Park, tennis courts, sunshades installed at Country Club Pool, and we're very excited to be able, for residents to be able to enjoy the pool soon. They've also done repairs to our bathroom facilities at Bordeaux Park. 75 potholes were addressed this month. In our inspections department, they have completed a total of 1,242 inspections, issued 620 violations, 52 summons, and 189 construction permits. And they also brought in a revenue of 82,000. Revenue is standing at $82,667. Facility rentals revenue, I'd like to speak on that briefly. For classroom and banquet hall space at the Kennedy Center, the revenue was $15,452. For spaces at Mill Creek Park, which represents our pavilions, that revenue is $16,507. And revenue for Lizzie Mae Morris Memorial Field, $600. And my fire department unfortunately had three major in-town incidents that they had to report to: two vehicle fires and a house fire on Nolan. In assistance with a mutual aid, they were able to successfully rescue one pet, but there were no persons at home at the time of the fire. And then they did assist our mutual aid departments in Beverly City, Burlington Township, Delanco, and Delran. They also have 3 new hires in that department. So we welcome Devin Arison as a part-time EMT, Jada McBride, and Peter Serenia as full-time EMTs. And also on Friday, May 8th, I had the pleasure of attending the retirement ceremony where we celebrated Captain Matt Farrell and celebrated his 32 years of dedicated service to the township of Willingboro. In our vital statistics office, they issued 92 birth certificates, 24 marriage licenses, 6 death certificates, and we had 7 weddings. Mary, you were a little busy in April. And I would like to call up at this time Director of Recreation, Mr. Gary Laurie, to give his department report.
As Mr. Lowry is coming, I just wanted the public to know that the young people taught Mr. Lowry the Camden Bop and the Borough Bop during Youth in Government, Madam Mayor, if you wanted to see that.
Yep, very unsuccessfully as well. So we won't be putting that on display this evening. I'm also not cool enough to be in TikTok, so there's that. So good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, members of the public. I will go through my brief report, just a few updates from the Recreation Department. We are planning summer camp, of course, like we discussed a few times already. We have a total of 58 campers already registered for our summer camp program, and we're looking to take on 120 for this summer. In preparation for our camp, our recreation leader, who we just brought on board back in April, I believe is when she started, she's already planned 17 trips for our students this summer. That includes 1 trip for each week for the Discovery Day Camp. Discovery Day Camp will be for the kids that are 5 to 10 years old, and as well as the Borough Explorers for 11 to 14-year-olds. They'll be going on 2 half-day trips per week and then 1 full-day trip per week as well. So 3 trips for the older kids during the week. They'll have 1 day in the building where they're getting a plethora of different experiences. We're going to be bringing in speakers, and they'll be going through different workshops. So they're going to get a real good enriching experience this summer. In addition to the scheduled trips, both camp groups will participate in a special end-of-the-year celebration to recognize their participation and conclude the summer on a positive and memorable note. Notably for the Borough Explorers, their end-of-the-year trip will be the lunch cruise on the Spirit of Philadelphia. They'll be doing that, so they'll be getting all dressed up in, their nice little attire, and they'll be cruising to Philadelphia, the Delaware River over in Philly for lunch. As we wrap up our camp planning for this year, we are still seeking instructors for our art class and our cooking classes. I think I faded out a little bit, so I said art and cooking. We are launching our Summer Emotion series. That will take place, the first iteration of that will be on June 24th, and that will continue until August 19th. It will be every other Wednesday for the summer. The block series is designed as a mobile pop-up recreation and engagement experience that activates neighborhood parks and courts through a consistent blend of recreation, music, food, and resource connection. Some of the resources that we'll have out there for the families to take advantage of will be, of course, the Recreation Department's table. We'll be signing people up for our programs. Both the fire and police community engagement units will be out there as well. The school district's breakfast and lunch program will be there, as well as the family engagement specialists. The Beloved Project, Burlington County, Prevention Plus of Burlington County, and we are working to confirm the Virtuous Pediatric Medical Service so that they can bring their mobile service out as well for that initiative. This initiative reflects the department's continued commitment to bringing recreation directly to neighborhoods while creating meaningful opportunities for community engagement and positive interaction. Beyond that, we are excited to share that through the $10,000 Anxiety and Depression Initiative grant that we received just a few years ago, we'll be facilitating our Move Your Mind Community Wellness Challenge. That will begin on June 1st and last through Sunday, July 12th. That challenge encourages residents to prioritize both physical and mental wellness through movement, connection, and healthy habits. Participants can register through the Move Zen Go app, Move Zen Go, that can be downloaded on your mobile devices, or you can also go to the website to track your activities, earn points, and compete for prizes while engaging in wellness-focused challenges and community events. Along with that, and as a part of the funding that we did get, that $10,000, our fitness classes will be offered complimentary for residents for the duration of that challenge. So make sure you stay up to date with what we're doing. Those fitness classes you can register through willingboroughrec.com. For the summer pool access, the pool will be opening this weekend for Memorial Day. There is rain in the forecast. If that does happen, the pool will still be open. However, the big community celebration that we plan to do on that day will be postponed to potentially June 6th. The Recreation Department has also, we've been talking about the procedures and the policies for our daily pool access during the summer. Individuals interested in utilizing the pool will be encouraged to create an account through MyRec, which will efficiently assist with verifying addresses to determine residency relating to the fees. We charge $5 to residents, $8 for non-residents for daily passes. Upon arrival at the pool, attendees will be asked about their account status. So if they have an account, if they do have an account, their day passes will be charged to their account, and they'll be asked to pay at that time. An alternative option will be paying online in advance and displaying their receipt at the gate. We do encourage the advance payment. They can go on Saturday. On Friday, we'll activate the portal on MyRec, so people can go on to willingboroughrec.com and they can purchase a daily pass to the pool. For those without accounts, our staff will be trained on point of sale and will accept cash or credit payments at the gate. We'll just ask for some sort of verification of residency, so an ID, state ID, driver's license, or a school ID for the students. And of course, every Friday at the pool will be free for pre-K3, what's pre-K3? PK, yeah, pre-K3 through 12th grade student residents. And again, in all cases, we're encouraging advance payment online for a seamless check-in experience. Season passes will be available for purchase online as well. Season pass holders will have their membership verified at check-in. And finally, we launched our new department Facebook page where you can stay plugged into recreation-specific events, activities, and initiatives. We saw that we were overloading the township Facebook page with a bunch of information, and we don't want to over-inundate. We don't want people to miss information that Ms. Jackson's putting out for various things. So we created the Willingboro Township Recreation Department Facebook page. That's all I have. Thank you for your time. I'll take any questions if there are. And if not, I will gladly return to my seat.
Any questions for Mr. Lowry?
$5 for residents.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lowry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Laurie. And at this time, we will have Chief Bucks.
As my PowerPoint is being pulled up, I'd just like to go on record that I am cool enough for TikTok, so probably not according to my kids, but according to myself, I am. So good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, Willingboro residents. Thank you for this opportunity. Tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you our 2025 annual report. I've done this every year, probably for the last 4 or 5 years, easy. It was a little delayed this year because of my schedule, so I'm here tonight to present you with our 2025 annual report. Next slide, please. So 2025 year in review, we accomplished a lot through the police department, whether it was personal or professional. So these are some of the pictures throughout the year. We brought our youth police academy up to West Point for one of their trips that they did during our 3-week program. Some pictures from the Jazz Fest and award ceremony. And then the Grinch, you know, he was a part of Christmas for us too. Next slide, please. So what we're going to cover. We're going to cover our calls for service, cases, motor vehicle thefts, uniform crime report, use of force, internal affairs, promotions, new hires, community engagement, and future projects. I'm not going to read everything that's on the slide because I don't want to stand up here for 15, 20 minutes and prolong the meeting. So we'll hit some key points on each one of these slides. Next slide, please. So our calls for service, this slide depicts, you know, the last 7 years of our calls for service. And calls for service is anything that we are called to, whether it's a barking dog complaint, if there's any type of residential complaint, anything that comes in through 911 or anything that we're dispatched to, that's what a call for service is. And you can see over the last 7 years, the increase of our call volume throughout the municipality. Next slide, please. This one is just going to break down our higher numbers of calls for service. The ones that are highlighted in yellow, that's 2025. The ones that are in white is what they were for last year. So you can see that some were up a little bit, some were lower a little bit. You know, if you take a look at, you know, our traffic stops were down a little bit, but our ordinance violations, they were up a little bit, showing that we were doing more ordinance enforcement this year as opposed to the year before. Next slide, please. So our cases, again, the yellow is 2025, the white is 2024, and cases are anything that a call for service may turn into a larger investigation. So that's the difference between a call for service and a case. Next slide. There we go. So motor vehicle thefts. In 2025, unfortunately, we did have an increase of about 48% in motor vehicle thefts. But you know, throughout the state of New Jersey, there was a decrease. So the increase was due to a couple reasons. It was a lot of thefts throughout the area where people were leaving their key fobs in the car, their cars unlocked. They've come out with these technical devices where if your key is in your house, but it's close enough to your car, this device would be able to unlock your car and a person would be able to go in the car, start it, and then just drive away from it. So that has been an issue that we've been dealing with, all of last year and the beginning parts of this year. There are certain things that you can buy online to kind of protect your key fob from being infiltrated, I guess, from those types of devices. It's technology, and unfortunately, there's people are finding out different ways to steal vehicles. So, next slide, please. So this is our uniform crime report. Our uniform crime report is what we report to the FBI and to the state police. It's broken down into 7 different categories. There's violent crime and nonviolent crime. So again, this depicts the last 7 years. And if you see the numbers, where they were, 2020 was, 266. That was that COVID year. So that's why that number is so low. We did drop about 16 points this year. So, and you can kind of see through those numbers, where the increase or the decreases were. If you look at burglary, we had a 6 or 11, there were increase of 11. So we kind of use that as a guide to see how, technically how safe or unsafe a community is. If you compare our numbers to some of our surrounding municipalities, our numbers are better than some that you may think. So everyone say, oh, they'll look at like the Mount Laurel, the Morristown's, this, that, and the other. Our numbers are better than those other municipalities. Next slide, please. One of the big things for us too, and as our detective division, as a collateral duty, they have to do all of our backgrounds for anyone that's applying for a permit to carry concealed or purchase a handgun. So it's a big lift for our detective division because they have to do a thorough background, thorough investigation on anyone that applies. So these are just kind of the differences. On the left-hand side, you'll see the permit to purchase, which is either for a handgun or a long gun. And then on the right-hand side is you'll see the concealed carry, which is to get a concealed carry, you have to go through additional training and you have to renew that license every 2 years. So you can just see the difference, the amount of work that goes into those types of requests. Next slide. We also look at our use of force. So use of force is broken down into a bunch of different categories. You have constructive authority, physical contact, physical force, mechanical force, and deadly force. So next slide, please. So if you take the number of calls for service that we had in 2025, we had 42,385 calls for service in 2025. Out of all those calls, we only had 31 situations that required our police officers to use force. 14 of those 31, we were dispatched for some type of mental health incident. And out of those 31 situations, we had to complete 31 use of force reports. What that means is any officer who uses force has to do a report. So that's where you'll see 31 situations, but you could have one situation that 3 officers might have had to use some type of force. So you break that down, force was only used in 0.073% of our calls for service. So what does that mean as a citizen? It means that you had 0.73%. If we had some type of contact with a citizen, that force would be used. Next slide, please. So then what I do is I like to break that number down a little bit further. So we had 514 arrests were made by our patrol division and our street crimes unit in 2025. So out of those 514 arrests, force was only used 20 times. So what does that mean? In 2025, if you were arrested by the patrol division or a street crimes unit, that there's a 3.8% chance that force was going to be used. So now I break that number down a little further. What type of force is being used? Next slide, please. So 84% of force being used by our officers was their hands, arms, or some type of takedown. 21% was either an armbar, a pressure point, or a leg strike. We also had one incident where we had to discharge our duty weapon, that one of our officers had to discharge his duty weapon as a dog was trying to attack him. And then we had 2 incidents where we had to discharge our taser. So one incident, the subject was reaching for a gun in his waistband, and we're able to discharge our taser and have a successful deployment of our taser, and that subject was taken into custody. And a second incident, a subject was actively fighting police officers. And again, that note, an officer must list every type of force. So if an officer uses a knee strike and then a takedown, both of those have to be listed on the use of force report. It's not one or the other. It has every type of use of force that you use has to be listed on that report. Next slide, please. So what happens after force is used? It has to be reviewed. We have 3 levels of force to make sure that our officers are in compliance with any laws, our policies and procedures. It's not just one person looks it over. It starts with the frontline supervisor. It goes to the lieutenant, and then it goes to the captain of the internal affairs. And if there's any issues when we review that, then we take the appropriate action against that officer. Next slide. And this is just a breakdown of the types of internal affairs complaints that we received: excessive force, improper arrest, improper entry, improper search. So for 2025, so what could happen is this, right? We had 33 total internal affairs investigations that were opened up. And some of those investigations can be opened up because during a administrative review of our body cameras or anything else, we noticed that there was an issue. So we take action ahead of time and we open up an internal affairs investigation and go through that whole process. Next slide, please. This one is just the dispositions of those types of cases. They can be sustained, exonerated, not sustained, or unfounded. Next slide, please. 2025, we had 5 new hires. We had Officer Wells Green, Officer Luis Montenegro, Officer Scott Cuney, Officer Robert Nunez, and Officer Corey Scott. They all were sworn in front of you guys throughout that year. We also had 2 promotions. Next slide. We had Sergeant Brandon Thomas was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and Officer Mark Klaus was promoted to the rank of sergeant. Next slide, please. We attended or participated in over 104 community events, and we've raised over $12,000 for various charitable organizations. Our community engagements, sometimes we hosted some things on ourselves, or sometimes we partnered with different organizations throughout the municipality. Next slide, please. So our projects for 2026, we implemented a training unit. We purchased a Polaris last year. We're in the process of getting that upfitted and ready to be on the road. The Polaris will help us reach those areas where our patrol vehicles can't reach, as far as the back areas of Mill Creek Park, up at Olympia Lakes, and so on and so forth. We purchased and implemented the new Draeger Alcatest. That's for DUIs. So police vehicles, we're in the process of purchasing some new police vehicles, new hires. And the 2 bottom ones, is something I think is extremely important. We're looking to do a voluntary physical fitness and wellness program, and we also want to increase the departmental awards program. Next slide, please. And that is the end. So I will take any questions or comments.
All right. Any questions for Chief Bucks? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for the report. On one of the slides, I think it was in terms of the different reviews, one of the categories said demeanor, and it
Yes.
was 6. Can you talk about that?
So demeanor complaints are any type of complaint that that is reported to us, whether a person feels that a officer's demeanor was negative against a member. Let's say if it's a car stop, they treated me rudely or they treated me unfairly or something like that. So any one of those, we would open up an internal affairs investigation. And one of the things that is extremely beneficial to us, and we've invested, I think back in 2025, is body worn cameras. Every single call we go to, we use our body worn cameras. So those complaints for us are easily looked into because you just go back and you watch the body worn camera, and whether if it was sustained that there was a demeanor complaint and the officer was, we'll say rude or, yeah, rude, then we would take corrective actions as whether it is a written reprimand, suspension, and so on and so forth. We would use progressive discipline if it called for that.
And my follow-up question is the data from the school resource officers included in the data that is shared today?
As far as,
Anything that happens
So-
while the officers are serving as school resource officers?
yes.
Okay.
Anytime that we're dispatched or any calls that we have, whether they're generated at the school or anything like that, it's all reported back to our central dispatch, and that's where we get all of our numbers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right. Chief, can you also talk a little bit about the Youth Police Academy that's coming up?
I sure can. That's a project that's near and dear to my heart. The Youth Police Academy came to existence back in 2009. I had a vision, for what I wanted to see for the youth in Willingboro. We had a bunch of different programs, but we didn't have anything that was geared towards our high school kids, our high school students. And, I came up with an idea that we were going to gear at the time it was only 1 week. Now it's a 3-week program where we take students that are interested in a career in law enforcement or the military, and we expose them to those types of environments where, we do physical fitness, we do military drill, we bring in a bunch of different instructors from different branches of law enforcement to give them options and just kind of show them the opportunities that are out there for law enforcement, whether it's federal, state, county, or a local municipality. This year, it starts July 13th. We are currently accepting applications, so if anybody's interested, feel free to fill out an application, and we have a good time. We do PT, but it is I would say more of a mentoring type of academy, and I think we have 5 current officers now that have came through our Youth Police Academy and now are Willingboro police officers. And we've had countless numbers of cadets, what's what we call them, cadets that have gone on, whether, into the military services or into the workforce or into Ivy League colleges. It's a great opportunity for a high school student to kind of get a look into the profession without having to be in the profession.
Great, thank you. And how many students are you taking this year?
We usually around 20 to 25.
All right.
And the instructor-student ratio, we kind of try to keep it around 20 to 25. I don't like to say no, though. So
All right, thank you, Chief Bucks. If there are no more questions, thank you for your report.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Bucks. We can move on to our agenda. You have an ordinance 2026-17 before you for introduction. It's the ordinance amending the municipal code to add a new chapter providing for the establishment of a municipal performing arts center utility fund, defining the governance structure and provide professional administrative management of the utility. And so it lays out the functions, the budgeting, the accounting for managing the revenue costs associated with operations management of the theater, the Performing Arts Center. And it also speaks to the structure of management structure and breakdown. And then for your consideration there in Article F, the compensation of the manager for the theater, for the utility for the theater, excuse me. Ordinance 2026-15 for public hearing and final adoption is ordinance amending Chapter 350 of the Township Code entitled Towing to update the procedures for participation in the towing rotation list. Ordinance 2026-16 entitled Peace and Good Order to add Article 4 for special events and establishing formal process for permitting, review, coordination, and regulation of special events within the township. And those are the ordinances that we have on for tonight, and then we'll move on to our resolutions. Resolution number 109 is our bills list. Resolution number 110, authorizing the approval of the emergency appropriation for Plumtree Lane. Resolution number 111, ratifying emergency procurement and awarding emergency contract to Lambert Construction for those, I'm sorry, for the work. I just had a project. Yeah, for the project, sorry. Resolution number 112 and 113. These are the resolutions for Jazz Fest artists. So 112, 113, resolution number 114, resolution number 115, and resolution number 116. And those are all the resolutions we have on our agenda today.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carmichael. And for resolutions 112 through 116, the artists for the Jazz Fest are Gerald Beasley, Eric Roberson, Karen Briggs, Mesa, and Mike Phillips. All right, at this time, we will open up for our first public comment. This is public comment on agenda items only. Any of the information shared in the reports or any of the ordinances or resolutions that we'll be discussing tonight. If you have comment, question on those, we will take those now. You will have 2 minutes. Please come up to the mic, and there are also comment cards in the back to provide your information should we not be able to answer your question this evening. You'll have 2 minutes. Public comment on agenda items only is now open. Come on up, Ms. Holly.
Are you doing something outside of the scope of the?
Yes, we have a general public comment later in the meeting.
Okay, I just have one question pertaining to Chief Buck's presentation. See if I can read my notes. Can the community get a list of the donations and the organization that you supported? Or should I put in an open request? Okay, so please submit that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. You can come up and make a line on the side. That'll be helpful.
Good evening, honorable council members
Good evening.
and citizens of Willingboro. Just had a couple of questions for the chief.
Oh, can we have your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Janice Brown.
Thank you.
As far as the youth council, the what is it called, the Youth Academy, is this an academy that perhaps can allow children, or not children, but youth who have have had trouble with the law, maybe need to have this kind of mentorship? Is it something that could possibly allow them to participate? Are there certain criteria that would prevent, or, certain youths from not participating? And what is the age limit on it for youth to participate in it? Also, I might be naive, but what is the Polaris program? Or what is Polaris when you said that there's that being established or something like to that effect?
All right.
Okay,
Is that it?
yeah.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, public comment is now closed. Chief will ask you to come up, and all the questions were for you today.
That's good. That's good. So the officers' donations, they're donations that the officers personally donate. There's not township funds or anything like that. So, and then the other question, the Polaris program, that Polaris program is it's a off-road vehicle, all-terrain vehicle, a UTV. That's just that we're going to be able to use as another vehicle for the municipality. So it's does that kind of answer your question? No, just to be able to go back, like, so, like, instead of riding a bicycle throughout Mill Creek Park or in the back, it's going to be a motorized vehicle that we can use through the back trails to kind of make sure nothing inappropriate or unlawful is happening back there. And then the other question was for the Youth Police Academy. This program isn't for troubled youths. There are other programs that are out there. This program is specifically designed for youth that are interested in a career in law enforcement or the military.
All right. And what's the age range on it?
Age range is high school age. We'll say like 13 to 18-ish. And the reason I say that is because sometimes high school students, are a little bit younger or a little bit older.
And before you go, can you just expand a little bit on the charitable giving? So it was individual officers pooling money together to donate to different charities within the municipality, or
So some are within the municipality, some through the like to the PAL program, to the wrestling program. Some of it like kind of what in coordination or conjunction with our FOP or Supervisors Association. We made donations to during the month of October to the Susan B. Coleman Foundation. We did Wounded Warrior Project. We made a donation to the Wounded Warrior Foundation and things like that. During November, we typically, make a donation for No Shave November. And then December, what we do is a lot of times in December, we'll take the officers' donations, and then we would go out and would purchase different, gifts or gift cards for the community and give out, gift cards or presents to children in our community.
all right. All right. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll move on to our ordinances. So, Madam Deputy Clerk, if you would, ordinance 17.
May I get a motion to introduce ordinance 26-17 entitled, "An Ordinance of the Township of Willingboro and the County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending municipal code to add a new chapter providing for establishment of the Municipal Performing Arts Center Utility Fund, defining its governance structure, and providing for professional administrative management of the utility."
So moved. Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Councilwoman Perone.
Thank you. So I have some serious concerns about this ordinance because I do see, as the clerk eloquently read to us, that it is to establish utility management of the funds for the for the Performing Arts Theater. Under section 2, it says functions. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I did highlight some of my concerns. Okay. It shall be the function of the utility to budget, account for, and manage all revenues and costs associated with the operation, maintenance, programming, and management of the Willingboro Performing Arts Center. This includes, but not limited to, the collection of revenues from ticket sales, facility rentals, concessions and sponsorships, and payments of costs related to artist fees, productions, advertisements, permanent staffing, facility maintenance, utilities, and debt service. Just put a thumbtack in the wall there. Now move to surplus and deficits underneath financial, which is section 3, financial affairs. Surplus and deficits in accordance with the NJSA 40A 40-35. If the operation of the utility results in a surplus, such surplus may be included in the township current fund budget as miscellaneous revenue. If the operation of the utility results in a deficit or in an anticipated deficient, the appropriations for such deficiency shall be included in the township current fund budget to subsidize utilities. So now when I read that, the issue that I'm having is, number one, the Performing Arts Theater is already located in a building where we have staff. We're managing that building, the custodian parts of it, the maintenance, that's the building. This is not a separate building that we're building. So number two, you already voted to pay one individual over $200,000 to
come up with these amazing artists that's supposed to bring revenue to the township. We pay him and his staff. In addition to, we've not seen anything happen yet with that part. However, that idea with him bringing the artist was because it was supposed to produce revenue. So why is it that if he does not produce the revenue and it becomes a deficient, that you're now trying to say we're going to take it out the township budget? That's not fair, because that program or building, not the building, the actual performing arts theater, it's supposed to fund itself. We were promised a lot supposed to happen with the money coming in. I recognize it's not the gentleman's fault because of the building structure of it, but this right here is like a little sneak in where now basically you're asking the taxpayers to pay again. And that's what when I read both of those, that's exactly what it says. The staff, isn't the staff the JFK Center, our workers that work there? Who's the staff exactly? The only additional staff that I recall is the person who's supposed to bring these amazing artists and his staff. So now we're supposed to, if he can't afford to pay the artist, now you're going to take it out of the township's current township fund. So I know this is the first reading, but this seems very fishy, and I don't like it.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Peron. Any other comments?
Why? Yes, I have a question for you, Madam Mayor.
Can I answer the first one, or
Well, just
go
one
ahead?
question.
You go.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask it. I didn't ask the question. I said I have a concern. 'Cause I know you put this together with the solicitor and I guess the township manager.
Well, the township manager put it together with the solicitor,
Okay. So
and we're all reviewing.
this is the first time you're viewing it too?
I saw it during prep.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, because I was just going to only ask what was your intent and ideas about this if you had input on putting it together.
Yeah, so I think the theory behind creating this utility is to be able to track the theater fund separately, to be able to record those returns on investment. It's still a township entity, and we are looking to hire, because we need accountability for the management of the Performing Arts Center, right? We can't necessarily have a outside contractor managing the entire theater. So we're making sure that Willingboro is stable as we enter this new endeavor for the Performing Arts Center. So that's what this is laying out. It's a structure to be able to manage and facilitate the finances of the Performing Arts Center, and so that the money that comes in from the Performing Arts Center doesn't just go into the general operating fund. We can track how much is coming in, what's being spent just on that project, so that we can have an accurate accounting and make sure that we're getting the return on investment that we're looking for.
But however, if there's a deficiency, then you're taking the money out the general fund. And you're also saying in here, any payment or cost related to artist fees, we're going to have to fit the bill if we can't afford it. So that's where it gets tricky. That's the gray area that I'm seeing.
And those things will still have to be approved by council. So it's not like that person can just do whatever they want. They'll have to be approved by council, but also it's still a public entity. And we're looking to have the director be an employee of Willingboro Township. So just like if there's a deficit in the recreation department, we don't say, hey, recreation, you're on the hook. You got to figure out what you're going to do. It's still an entity of the Willingboro Township.
But it does say here the township manager serves as the chief executive and administrative official of the municipality and executes all laws and ordinances. It does not, and to appoint supervisors and removes department heads, etc. So we're giving him the power over the staff of that performing arts. Like this is
Just like he has power over the
Right.
entire staff of the
According
municipality.
to us. But this is what I'm saying is, why is it we have a finance department? I think she can do a very good job at separating the money. I'm not sure why we're creating a separate ordinance, other than how fishy it smells, why we're doing that. I don't see why we need a separate ordinance to articulate and say, if we can't afford to pay what we're anticipating to have, then we'll just take it out of the general fund. That gets tricky because when the general fund, we vote for it at the beginning of the year, right? We decide on what we're planning and anticipating, but why are you trying to separate what's coming in and then?
So all of our accounts and departments have their own different accounts. So this is just establishing an account for the Performing Arts Center. Currently, it doesn't have an account because it didn't exist before. So just like inspections has an account and all of their expenses and revenues come into the inspections account or the recreation account. This is establishing an account
This is
for
not just an account, Madam Mayor. This is a
it
ordinance
establishes an
where you-
account and a structure for the management of the Performing Arts Center.
That's what I mean. We have a finance department. The finance department can absolutely create an account for monies for Performing Arts Center. We don't need to
Yes, but they can't do that without an ordinance.
create an account.
Yes.
Okay, so where does it say account on here? Just point out one,
That's the financial.
one word where it says, where is it?
That's where it has
Where,
the
just-
financial affairs part.
I don't see account. This is not an account, okay? This is an ordinance to establish. It's like we're creating a whole company within.
No,
within-
it says an ordinance to establish a municipal performing arts center utility fund.
Yes, utility.
That's the account part. And defining its governance structure and providing for professional administrative management of the utility. But I understand your questions and concerns, and I look forward to discussing them between the next meeting so that we can get all that ironed out in the next reading of the ordinance.
Okay, and so for the next meeting, can you also bring the gentleman who we're paying over $200,000 to bring the artist, bring that contract, because that contract outlines what he's supposed to be doing. And if he does not, I remember that says, if he does not come forward, then he owes us. I want to see that attached to this because this says something very different. Okay, so let's just.
Right, because we haven't established a utility and we didn't.
Contract.
Right, he does have a contract, but we haven't established the structure because the Performing Arts Center wasn't open. So we talked with Mr. Hall, our solicitor. It is true. He does have a contract, but because we don't have any structure to the Performing Arts Center because it wasn't built or operational yet.
Let's just get his.
He had a contract for management
Yes.
and for
managing
management.
the staff. He had staff. He had it all in there why he needed that amount of money and that what he was promising to bring back. And if he did not come through, then we would say, okay, here's, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm saying is bring the contract because this says here, hiring staff, permanent staff, facility maintenance. So these are the type debt services.
Because we're looking to transition from a side contract to municipal employees to run that.
See, now you're coming up with more fancy words.
I'm not
That's what
coming
I'm
up with
saying.
fancy words. Rebecca, you
Her
voted
name was
for it.
Councilman Perone. Let's just get it correct.
You voted
okay?
for it as well. So we'll take that note down.
This, please.
Also, Madam Deputy Mayor, if you would send the contract to Councilwoman Perone again, that would be helpful so
And
that
after
she
you
has
just
all
send
the
it to me, I
information.
need you to read it and make sure that we're looking at this document that you sat with Mr. Harris to read and put together, that it's not conflicting with that agreement that we already in, that we have not received anything back, but been paying more out to that person.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
All right, any other questions on this ordinance? Seeing none, we'll go to, go ahead. Councilwoman McIntosh.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, with those concerns, should we hold this off and really go through that before it's voted on? Some of the concerns, just to make.
Yeah, we can table it. That's absolutely fine. All right. So we'll table it to, I just want to give us enough time. We'll table it to the June. The June 16th meeting. All right, I need a motion to table.
So moved.
Oh, because we already did the motion in the second. Okay, will you
I
withdraw?
withdrew my second.
Okay, and the motion.
Withdraw my motion.
All right. So the motion and second has been withdrawn. I need a motion to table ordinance 2026-17 to the June 16th meeting.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any other discussion? Seeing none, Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. All right, ordinance 15, please.
I'd like to open up the public hearing on ordinance 26-15 entitled An Ordinance Amending Chapter 350 of the Township Code entitled Towing to update procedures for applications and participation in towing rotation lists. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance only, please?
All right, seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Okay, can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance 26-15?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
I look to open up the public hearing for ordinance 26-16 titled An Ordinance of the Township of Willenboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 252 of the Code of the Township of Willenboro entitled Peace and Good Order to add a new Article 5, if I said right, entitled Special Events, establishing a formal process for the permitting, review, coordination, and regulation of special events within the township.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call. That's the public hearing.
Yes.
All right. Anyone wishing to comment on this ordinance, please come forward. Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes, with the correction, it's Article 4, not
Okay,
5.
thank you. I appreciate that. Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. All right, for the resolutions, are there any resolutions that council would like to pull from a consent agenda? Seeing none?
Oh, one, Madam Mayor. 2026-112.
Okay. All right.
And also 2026-113. It looks like all of everyone that says Duckett, that's the contract we were just talking about. So 20, I guess it's all of, let me see. Okay, from,
It's 12 through 16.
okay. And I see 15 as well.
I said 12 through 16.
Oh, 16, I thought you said 15. Okay, yes. So that's, looks like all of them.
All right. So for a consent agenda, I'd like to ask for a motion to do a consent agenda for resolutions 2026-109 through 2026-111.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
May I get a motion and a second to approve the same?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. We can move on to resolutions for separate discussion.
A separate,
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we got to open it up first.
you want me to list them all together or do you want?
No, we have to do them separate.
Okay. For a separate discussion, we have resolution 26-112, a resolution authorizing the Township of Willingboro to enter in professional service contract with Duckett Entertainment Group LLC, representing Gerald Beasley for the music performance at the 2026 Willingboro Jazz.
All right. We need a motion
So moved.
and a second. All right, it's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Discussion.
Yes, first part of my discussion is, can we identify the item 2026-113 112 in the packet. I'm not seeing that. Or see, I have 13. Here's 12. Let's get to 12. Here's 11. 11. I see 11, 12. Okay. So you've broken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different resolutions for the same entertainment contract that I just spoke about with regards to the Performing Arts Theater. Now, Docket Entertainment Group, what type of group is that, Madam Mayor?
That's the group that books our musical acts for the Jazz Festival.
Right, okay. And that group, is that the group that's also going to be responsible for the Performing Arts Theater that we just spoke about, the utilities, management, administrative management utilities?
Not necessarily.
No,
Not necessarily.
well, what do you mean not necessarily? Because this
We
is,
haven't established the utility and the operator or the director of the utility, so it may not be Ducket Entertainment Group.
okay, so then let's talk about what is Docket Entertainment Group doing for Resolution 112. You put this packet together with the township manager. So please describe to me what was your intent for item 112.
These are the contracts for the entertainment acts for the Jazz Fest. We do these every year.
So what act is for 112?
It's Gerald Beasley, as
Okay.
stated in the title.
Where is it?
Gerald Beasley, as stated in the title.
Okay, so Gerald Bleasy, now we see for $8,000 to perform this act.
Yes.
Right. Okay, and as far as $8,000, this is to come out of our general funds?
Yeah, well, out of the money that we set aside for the Jazz Festival.
Okay, so this, back to the utilities management item that we just spoke about, how does this correlate?
It doesn't.
So the Performing Arts Theater is going to be separate from the Jazz Festival?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be 2 line items. So when we talk about the Jazz Festival, that will be coming from the general fund.
Well, I mean, all of it comes from the same bucket.
Okay, because my understanding is Duckett was hired to bring artists to the Performing Arts Theater. That was in his contract. Bring
But we
artists.
still have to pay the
No, wait,
artist.
wait, his contract, his initial contract that we have with him was 100% bring artists for the Performing Arts Theater. Manage those artists, bring the artists, revenue. So now I'm seeing he's managing the Jazz Festival, when initially that was coming from the JFK Center Recreation Department. And last year, he took a percentage of each artist. And I disputed that because he was already paid. How much money is the financial officer here? He's paid every single month, what, like $6,000? How much does he get paid a month? How much does Duckett get paid?
I don't have that figure. It's in the bill list.
In the bill list, $6,000 a month, in addition to $8,000 for one artist.
No, this
which-
payment goes to the artist.
We went over this last year too. I
We did. This is the artist payment.
I asked for the artist to show us their bill, to show us how much they're charging us. We did not receive that, and we're still not receiving that because this figure is coming from Duckett, who we already pay. So I understand if he's paying for an artist, but where's the invoice for the artist? Because this says a resolution to pay Duckett. It doesn't say to pay the artist. So if we were to hire, I don't know, Bobby Brown, we would get a contract from Bobby Brown and pay him for whatever he's required. So with this resolution, it says to pay Duckett. It doesn't say to pay the artist. Where's the artist's contract?
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Just for correction, Councilwoman Perone.
Okay.
Previously, even 10 years ago, there was always a vendor that brought the acts. So this is not new. If you're arguing that Duckett Entertainment, if you're arguing Duckett Entertainment Group doing it, that's one thing, but there's always, you said it was the recreation, you said the recreation brought them on, but the recreation always hired a contractor to do that.
Yes, but
Prior to Duckett, it was, I don't remember who the group was.
where's the contract for the artist? Like Beasley, where's Gerald's contract?
That would come through. It always, prior to,
No.
I'm saying even 10 years ago, there was a group, or a company that would bring in, that the recreation would,
Okay,
bring in an artist.
I remember that what I saw last year, the artist needed a hotel, the artist wanted water. There was little different things that the artist wanted. I don't see that in here. I just see $8,000 goes to Duckett, and I know that we already pay Duckett every month. So we're paying him twice. So, and it's each one is a different artist.
And just keep in mind,
and
it's two different things. So there's the Performing Arts Center, and then there's an, I'm just saying,
Right,
keep in
yeah.
mind, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
There are we didn't have a Performing Arts Center prior to,
Right.
to now. So now there are two different things, which he is a facilitator for entertainment. You may disagree with that, but
Well,
there are two different,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Councilman McIntosh. That's exactly what I'm saying. His job was to bring artists to the Performing Arts Theater, not to bring artists to the JFK Center. His job was performing arts. That's it. Now, all of a sudden, ever since he got here, he's been this resolution, pay him more, pay him more. And we don't see a contract for any of these artists. I've asked for it last year. It seems like I'm the only person that's concerned about looking at a contract. Even if it's him bringing the artist, we should see a contract about what they're requesting. What are we paying? Okay, so it's 8,000. Wouldn't you want to negotiate? Well, you know what, maybe we don't need all of that. Maybe we want to look, right, this year we're looking for artists around 4,000, 6,000. You just want to say 8,000, that's okay. Are they all $8,000? What are the other ones? I mean, like, it's just like we're blindfoldly just spending money and nobody wants to see the contract. Nobody wants, you're already paying Duckett. You're already paying him every single month, supposed to be for the Performing Arts Theater that's not open. And now you want to pay him more for each artist?
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
It's going to be no's for me. I can tell you that right now.
Thank you. The contracts, in terms of these resolutions, the reasons that we don't have the contract is because the agreement is with Duckett Entertainment Group, not directly with the artist. So we don't have those inner workings, but Duckett Entertainment Group and whoever managed previously also help figure out the order of show, how long the different performances are. They manage all the writers, they manage the hotel accommodations, transportation, all of those things that the council never gets involved with how to manage artists. So this is on par with how it's been managed in the past, and determining what those rates are. Those are negotiated prior to getting to this point. My other point that I'd like to bring up is we have the same conversation each year when it comes to the Jazz Fest, which is fine. But if it really is a concern, it seems as though those questions would have been asked prior to tonight when we have the resolutions in May for Jazz Fest in August. And that way you could have had ample time to sit with Duckett and whoever you wanted in the administration to ask questions about whatever contract, or if you had concerns that it would be an issue again this year. But I understand your vote is a no. I just want to be clear. It's not that I'm not interested in reading contracts, but I understand how the process works for us to be able to secure talent for the Jazz Fest. If the council wants to provide guidance next year and say, we don't want to exceed $8,000, or we don't want to exceed $5,000 per act, or whatever the number is, if we want to do that, we absolutely can do that at the beginning of the process, and we can make sure that we don't exceed a certain amount. But the residents, as well as the council, said that we wanted to have secure talent. We got names of different artists, and these are the artists that were selected by Duckett Entertainment with the administration. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Deputy Mayor, I would like to respond to Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Councilwoman Braun.
Thank you. I understand that this is not a huge concern, but remember our last council meeting, we don't have enough staff to cut our lawn. We need people to do our maintenance. We need public works bodies. And right now you're sitting here about to vote on $8,000 for this artist, $8,000 for that artist, $8,000 for the same person. And mind you, not even look at one contract for the artist. Each one of these documents, resolution says to Duckett Entertainment, the person who's on our staff, on our books. that we pay him and his staff to do what yet? Nothing. He's done nothing yet as far as the Performing Arts Theater. And again, I'm not blaming him for that. But again, that could have been on hold until we got the Performing Arts Theater up, until we get artists in there. Nobody agreed that he would be the artist for the the organization, the company, to bring artists to the JFK Center. I mean, to the Jazz Festival. That's what the JFK Center department did. And whoever they hired to bring the artists, they were able to do that. And you know what? They were paid their salary for the year, whatever it is, and they got it done. We had artists at the Jazz Festival. Again, this is not something that we're charging people to enter this. It's not a concert. Let's get that correct. The taxpayers are paying for this, okay? And then when they get there, they got to pay for parking, by the way, okay? So it's like, it's really gotten so out of control. And every year I speak about this. So as far as you to talk about why am I asking my questions now? You know why? Because it's on the agenda now. And you know why else? This is the time and place to speak about it at the council meeting.
And I'd just like to say that thank you, Councilwoman Brown. And if the council is no longer interested in doing the Jazz Fest, that is okay with me. We can take a vote on it and cancel it. We don't have to cancel any of these contracts.
Spending when we need.
You're absolutely right. And if you'd like to cancel it, and if you'd like to cancel the
trash.
Can I finish speaking, please? Thank you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
respond.
Thank you. All right, I'll give you a chance to speak, but let me continue. So if the council would like, or any member of the council would like to not spend this money on the Jazz Fest, put a motion on the floor, we'll cancel the Jazz Fest, and that will be it. We don't have to spend this money. But the community wants it, we continue to have it. And if we don't want to put this much money into the Jazz Fest, or if we want to put a cap on the amount of artists or the number of how much money we spend on artists, or how much money that we spend on the Jazz Fest in total, or cancel it altogether, you can put a motion on the floor and we can do away with the Jazz Fest.
I'm not saying to do away with the Jazz Fest. It is something that we're offering to the community. What I'm saying is be more responsible for how much we're spending on it, and not to want to look at the contracts for the artists. Why wouldn't you want to see the contracts? That's what we're here to do. Look at contracts, make informed decisions on informed information. We don't have the information in front of us. Duckett could have gotten the artists, here's their contracts. Take a look at it, council. Let's see if you approve. Not just give me a dollar figure and say vote on a resolution. And as far as canceling it, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have a budget here that we just started discussing last couple meetings ago, right? And serious concerns where we're going to find the money to, guess what? Cut our lawn, maintain our properties. And then you want to charge the taxpayers more money to pick up their trash, which, by the way, that's for the ones who want 2 trash bins. They got to pay additional for the bin and additional every year. But then you want to spend $8,000 of their money that they already gave you so you can sit on the grass and look at people sing to you. I think we're getting out of perspective of what we're giving back to the community. The Jazz Festival is a nice event. I'm not saying cancel it, but I'm saying we need to take care of our bills first. And if we don't have enough money to pick up the trash and not charge the taxpayers twice, then guess what? We do need to take a look at these artists, and maybe we only need 1 and not 4. And you know what else? The lawn needs to be green and not brown. And if the director says he needs staff, get him the staff. And guess what? This year, community, we're going to have 1 artist because we can't afford that. We have to put the money to where it's supposed to go.
Is that your proposal?
Yeah, I'm not canceling. I'm saying we don't need to.
Okay, are you saying that we should only have 1 artist this year?
That's one. And look at
All right, which one?
the contract. Look at the contract.
She's speaking real.
Excuse me, sir.
Just concede.
Which artists do you want to keep and which ones do you want to eliminate?
Madam Mayor, I would like to look at the contracts. Look at what we have and then take a look at the budget as far as what we have to get. We have to vote on the budget coming soon. The township manager's not here. We're supposed to talk about the staff to fill the public works department because he's understaffed. He explained that to us at our last meeting. We've not sat and discussed that. So what I'm saying is not cancel the Jazz Fest. Let's get our budget in order as far as what we need done. And what we need is to maintain our properties. We need the department's staff so they can do their jobs. and whatever materials they need, we need to look at that first. The other thing is the trash. We're charging our community more money and they already paid taxes. There's certain people that are being charged more money to pick up the trash. So I'm just saying, I can't sit here and vote on all of these, the thousands and thousands of dollars for a special event when we've not paid our bills, we've not taken care of our home first. That's
All right.
what I'm saying.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Any other comments? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to, and for those who are watching, for the public, the mayor does not put the resolutions together. The administration works and does a proposal for the entire council. We're one body, and we're here to discuss this together. So while it looks as though a council member is coming for the rest of council as if the rest of us don't care and don't read contracts, that is not, for whatever reason, that's how things are being presented this evening, but that is not the case. Also, in terms of the budget, we had several budget meetings. Budget money was budgeted for the Jazz Fest. There are times to be able to bring up at any point in time the amount of money that's being allocated for different events. There's opportunities to talk about artists. There are opportunities to talk about whatever any council member wants to talk about at any point in time. Some prefer to do it while the cameras are rolling in front of a live audience, and others prefer to just ask questions, go see the manager, talk to Mr. Duckett, and everyone has their own way of working and how they like to have discussions or argument or come for people when they're trying to do their job. All I'm saying is that I don't have a preference of any of the artists per se. I'm open to the discussion. I think everyone on the council is. It's the timing and the attack that is just not appreciated. But in terms of having a discussion or even seeing what happens if we were to table these and see what happens in terms of how long we can hold off from making these decisions, I would be open to that. But it is May. The conversations have been had with the artists. We have this conversation every year at this time of year. My only concern is if this truly is an issue, instead of grandstanding at the meeting right as we're looking to make the approval, is just to start the discussion earlier. When we're planning, when we're saying we're allocating a certain amount of money for the Jazz Fest, let's have the conversation in totality so we can stop having this type of stand down every year when it's time to actually make the decisions. We can ask Mr. Duckett for the contracts. We can get Miss Carmichael, get Mr. Duckett, let him know that the council wants to see the contract. We can do all those things. We will, and we can, but the question came forth this evening right now. So we're
That's why the question came up, because you didn't do it.
You did not do it. And I did ask for the contract and I said.
There was no request for the contracts. There was no request for the contracts, Councilwoman Toron. And we started talking about how much we were going to allocate for the Jazz Fest in November last year when we had the budget discussion. And there was no, excuse me, and there was no, and we did agree that we need to see the return on investment. We agreed on the number that we were going to spend for this year and evaluate. And if you don't agree that that's how that happened, then you don't have to. But we discussed this at many times throughout the year, and it always happens when it's at the last moment
And it
that
came
this
to
happens.
my table at this council, on this budget packet, and that's what we're here to
This
do.
is not the first time
Mayor-
we've
Madam
talked about
Mayor,
the Jazz Fest
You
budget.
set the budget.
We talked
That's
about.
part of your job as mayor.
I
Set
do
the
not
budget
set
with
the
the
budget. That is
agenda
not my
solicitor.
job. I do not set the budget.
We're not going to go back and forth with that. This budget is where we're supposed to discuss this. We are not allowed to meet three anywhere to discuss anything about the budget. It's
And we
supposed to be
haven't, but
in the
anyone can
public.
meet.
This is not grandstanding. We're supposed to discuss anything having to do with money for the township in public. We're not supposed to meet at lunch and have sidebar meetings for who we like each other, who doesn't like each other. Let's vote for this. It's supposed to be done here. So that's not grandstanding. I'm asking a question.
But
and I'm
each of
bringing
us have,
concerns.
but each of us have the opportunity to
And
go
that's
speak
why-
to the manager at any time if we have questions. We have the opportunity to talk to the clerk to get us information on things that we're missing throughout the week. Throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, we can ask for any information that we have questions on. The packets are released prior to this meeting so that you can review and ask any questions, get documents acquired of anything that you need to make a decision. Other council members do that. Some of us do not. So this is not the first time that you're seeing these resolutions. This is
First
not
time
the
I've
first time.
Not the first
This
time
is
I've asked
not the
for it.
first
It's-
time.
where's the
Excuse
Where
me.
is the
I
contract?
let you speak, Councilwoman Perone. If
No,
you would let
already
me,
asked
if
that
you would give me
every
the same
time.
courtesy. We all have the opportunity to ask the same questions of the manager, to ask for any documents prior to the meeting.
Madam
Prior
Mayor,
to the meeting.
we are
Packets
here.
are released
You ha-
before this meeting so that we can review what is going to be discussed on the agenda and acquire any additional information that we need.
Okay, contracts is a no-brainer. If you're gonna give somebody money to sing for us, I think we need to look at the contract. The
All
fact
right.
that you don't want to see the contract is concerning. This is a
I've
no-brainer.
already talked to the manager about the
Contract
contract.
should be a part of this so we can review it and discuss.
Okay,
You're
so
asking-
would you like to table it and
That
get the
would- yes,
contract?
I think it should be tabled.
All right, so, we will, I'll have a motion to table resolutions, 26-12 through 26-16.
So moved. Oh, recall the other one.
Do we have to vote? So we'll recall the, previous vote
That was only
for 112.
recalled. I recall the motion. I don't know who seconded.
Who seconded that, Nikki? All right, we've removed the motion and the second, and I'd like to, I'd ask for a motion to table resolutions 2026-112 through 2026-116.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Any discussion?
One.
Yes.
With tabling, once we reconvene this discussion, can we have Duckett's contract and every artist on here, their contract?
Yes, we'll have those contracts sent out in the interim. Madam Deputy Clerk, if you would ensure that all council members receive the artist contracts as well as the contract for Duckett Entertainment Group. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
No.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Okay, with 3 yeas and 2 noes, the motion to table is approved.
All right. We do have executive session this evening, but before we go to executive session, we have a couple other things to do. Madam Deputy Clerk, the approval of minutes.
May I get a motion to approve the May 5th, 2026 regular meeting minutes and executive meeting minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. Madam Clerk, your report.
Yes. Good evening. The update for the municipal clerk's office. Just a reminder, we are 2 weeks away from the primary election on June 2nd. Sample ballots have been mailed from Burlington County Board of Elections. Early voting begins on May 26th through May 31st at the Willingboro Library, which is at 220 Willingboro Way in Willingboro, New Jersey. Key points for early voting in New Jersey: you can vote early at any designated early voting site in the county. No appointment is required. Early voting is available for both the primary and general elections. The hours for early voting are Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can find more voting information, early voting information, and locations on the SRB website. Vote by mail application deadline is May 26th. Vote by mail application deadline in person is June 1st by 3 p.m. And for more voting information, you can visit voter.svrs.nj.gov. All I have.
All right. Also, as I said last meeting, everyone, please ensure that your voter registration card and your license match. We don't want any issues when people go to vote. Also, make sure you check your mail one for the mailer about the polling place change that was sent out by the township. There are some of those in the back, and also the location on your sample ballot, because that will have changed by now as well. So it is another reminder of where your polling place is. Once again, we did have to move some of the polling places because of construction happening at the schools. We do have many of them moved to the JFK Center, and we have a number of procedures in place to assist those who are handicapped in getting to and from the building, as well as technical services on site at the JFK building should anything happen with that. So if you have any questions about that, you can please see the clerk after the meeting or contact the municipal clerk's office at any time before Election Day to get your questions answered. Any questions for our clerk? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. I had no unfinished business submitted before the meeting. Councilman Anderson.
I'd like to ask the chair to come up for the golf tournament that we're having on May 29th.
All right.
Present.
Can you state your name, please, again, for the
sorry.
record?
Karen Wells, Thornhill Lane in Willingboro. For the golf tournament, the report currently income to date is $23,429.23. Our expenses are $14,235.89, leaving us a current profit of $9,000 and change. We are still getting money coming in to date. We have sponsorship from Chase Bank, the Willingboro branch. They've been very generous. She's very excited. Their community affairs person. She's very excited, very responsive. She is going to volunteer, and they also donated a golfer spot. So we have that sponsorship from them. They also gave us things to go into the swag bags for the golfers. CVS Warehouse has also donated to the swag bags for the golfers. Foster Military Lodge and Aramy Chapter Number 62 have also donated to the swag bags for the golfers. I do want to apologize. The link did go out for, the scholarship application. My daughter, who is doing the changes for me, she's getting ready for graduation tomorrow. She's graduating from Keene, so I do apologize. We have a little hiccup there. She said she will work to get that done, get the link corrected. I just made some verbiage changes. So she's doing that for you. You should have that hopefully later on tonight. And I think that is it. Again, we are still getting money coming in every day from every entity. And we are excited about the golf tournament.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wells.
You're
One
welcome.
question. When will the scholarships close, the scholarship application period?
So we made it kind of generic so you can use it again. So the information that I put on there, the change, I put that the scholarships will be due by June 30th. The applications will be due by June 30th. The whoever is awarded a scholarship, that information will be given sometime during the summer. And then the awards will be presented also after those awardees have been notified. So it's pretty generic. If you want it to be more specific, we can do that, but kind of want to leave it open-ended. So next year, like it doesn't say 2026, or you can use it next year for 2027.
All right. That's good. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I have a
Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
As far as the scholarship dollar amount, what is the targeted goal?
I don't have that information. We haven't had that discussion. We would like to have an excess of $10,000 to award to our recipients.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Wells.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, we can do it in unfinished.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I have something else for unfinished business.
Councilman Anderson?
So we did speak about the vehicle policy, which I did get a response back from administration, but it was also brought to my attention that there is an application that needs to be filled out. Day-to-day use for the pool, which is now being identified as the pool vehicle. There's an application that needs to be filled out. So if a township employee wants to go from, let's say, the rec department to Mill Creek Park, that vehicle is a day-to-day application. So I just want to get some more information on that.
Okay. No, you're welcome.
All right, if that's all the unfinished business from the
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. So as we know, Memorial Day is right here on Monday. I have been asking about the council to supporting me in establishing a hometown banner hero program whereby we recognize our past veterans and also current veterans, where we would wave a flag in their honor with their names. And I've been asking for a resolution. That was the takeaway. I did provide the cost and expense for it. And I believe I talked about, yes, I brought this up in December 2025. And at every single council meeting, I've asked, where are we with the resolution in order to establish the program? So Madam Mayor, do you have the resolution? I know that the clerk did say she was still working on the resolution. So is that where we still are?
Yes, I do apologize. Just trying to get the election stuff going.
Okay.
But I do have to just update the information that
resolution.
you gave me so that I can submit undrafted resolution for you to review.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Are we doing anything for Memorial Day?
That would probably be Ms. Jackson.
Okay, because I didn't hear a report from
Yes, and I
her.
forgot to have Ms. Jackson come up and give her report. I apologize.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and all those assembled. Yes, we are. So our Memorial Day observance will be on Monday, May 25th at 11 o'clock at the Mill Creek Park.
What are we doing? I guess it's
So we will have a keynote speaker. Retired Command Sergeant Major Dr. Maurice Mims will be this year's keynote speaker. We have also sent out information to the residents, asking them if they have loved ones that they would like us to pay honor to during their observance. So we are collecting that information, and we will take a moment to do that. But in addition to that, we'll just have our replaying, and somebody will sing the national anthem. We'll play taps, just a typical activity we've normally had every year.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if that is all for unfinished business from the dais, Ms. Carmichael, will you please discuss the amendments to the budget?
Yes. So there were some suggestions sent via email for the budget amendments, and we're asking that council, that we hear from all of council for their suggestions for the amendments so that the CFO can present to the state by this week, so that we have time to introduce at the first meeting in June, and then potentially have public hearing and final adoption at the second meeting.
Okay, can you present those?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, governing body, residents of Willingboro Township. So on April 7th, was it, we introduced a budget which was submitted to the state of New Jersey for review and approval before we go to the next step. And the reason why we do that, our municipality is under state review. In order for us to even adopt a budget, it has to be reviewed by the state, the Division of Local Government, and the reason being we receive urban aid from the state. So once a municipality receives urban aid from the state, we are subject to review. So we introduced a budget of 54,145,000, if my memory. So we submitted that to the state for review, so they could tell us, okay, now your budget looks good. It's time to do the public hearing. It's time to do your possible adoption or amendment. So when we send the introduced budget to the state revised the calculation of the health insurance appropriation. So that allowed a certain portion of it to be inside of the cap and outside of the cap. So being that the township had already reached its maximum appropriation cap, we had to deduct $345,000 from our introduced budget to be in compliance. So with management, township manager, the different department heads, we went to work and because let me go back, because we reached the max, if we had to add anything on, we had to deduct from somewhere. We couldn't add on to where we already introduced the 54,145 million. If we're going to add on, and because the state asked us to add on 345, we had to look for 345 to cut. So we had a discussion, we're able to find places, unfortunately, we're able to find places to cut from. So we send the budget back, we send the amendment, the first amendment that the state required to them. So now, the governing body has the opportunity to review the budget line by line, and then you come back and say, hey, we need you to do this, 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 this. And in order for us, and that's an amendment. In order for us to even introduce an amendment, the amendment needs to go to the state, review everything, but you have to agree to say, hey, Mr. Harris or CFO, these are the amendments we need. We're going to submit those amendments to the state. The state is going to review those amendments again and come back and say, okay, you're good to go to introduce your amendment. Okay. So this is where we are.
All right.
We need to.
Can we talk about the amendments?
Yes. Right. Okay. So we did several. We got several recommendations from council. We put those amendments in place. This is my sheet.
One of the amendments we talked about last meeting, Ms. Diggs, was the appropriation for the salaries and wages for the Department of Public Works. How many employees were budgeted in that line item?
Okay, for excluding the director, the superintendent, I'm getting it. The director, superintendent, 2 admin staff, and 3 supervisors. We have 26. So that's 26 plus 2, 4, 6. That's 30 in that budget line. 30. That and 26 laborer, mechanics, truck driver, etc. So it was recommended that we add $100,000 to hire several laborers in the DPW department. In order for us to add the $100,000 in the department, and because we reached the appropriation cap, we had to look for other places to cut from. So council made a recommendation where to cut from. I just want to let you know that the $100,000 was added to the DPW line.
Mm-hmm. Where did those cuts come from?
There were 22,500 from communications vacancy that was available. 7.5 of a stipend for a clerk 4 tax assessor. 22.5 remainder of the stipend for the tax assessor, and 25,000 remainder of the engineer's salary, and 25,000 remainder of a part-time clerk salary in the manager's office. That's total $100,000.
Were there any other amendments made?
Yeah, there were several made by management prior to this recommendation. No, my sheet. Ooh, it's a lot. And I can give you copies instead of reading through them because it's a lot. But we actually did an amendment adding 345,000 back into the healthcare line due to the discussion that the township would be covering the healthcare of the library. In order to add that 345, we had to cut from several places. I have a copy because it's a little long list. I don't know whether you want me to read a list. I can provide council with that list.
Okay, so you're gonna provide us with the amendments, but
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
if we don't have them tonight, we can't.
Oh,
vote on
no, I have them. I came ready for,
Okay.
you know, I'll give it to her. I'll give it to the deputy clerk. All right, I came ready with them.
But I don't think we're gonna be able to discuss them and
No, I mean, you don't have to discuss it tonight. You know, you can discuss it and, you know, get back to the township manager or and myself, so we can send off what you agreed upon to the state for review and then approval with possible introduction June 2nd.
can you pass the amendment?
Sure.
to-
Yeah, but all these already been copies.
All right, so we'll have to review all of those since we're just getting it right now, and the council will have to provide
Diggs?
feedback after.
Okay.
Diggs,
thank
can you also email this to us,
Oh,
the amendments?
okay.
You have it electronically?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Carmichael, did you have anything else on the amendments to the budget?
No, I don't have anything to add.
You're gonna have to email us. Yes. I don't know. And Ms. Diggs, would you also be able to send an updated budget to the council as well? Thank you. Okay. All right, did you have anything else for unfinished business?
No.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carmichael. Any new business?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I was over at the Kennedy Center, and I noticed that the chairs in the front lobby are disgusting. They need to be cleaned. So I'm not sure where that falls at, where the responsibility is, who's in charge, and also over at the senior center. So one of the young ladies over there had sent me a picture of what it would look like with a cover that you could pull off, actually one of the security guards that you could pull off and wash. But I just wanted to find out who's in charge of the cleaning, because if that's going to be the theater's opening, you know, we really need to maintain that area. So if we don't have nothing in place, it's something we need to consider for there and the senior center.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
I can get you an answer on that. I do, I know that furniture in the senior center is part of the remodel. And I will have to find out. I will get back to you about the lobby. You're welcome.
All right. All right. If there's no other new business, Ms. Jackson, would you be able to give us the event update for this meeting? I know we have a lot of things coming up.
Yes, good evening again. So let me quickly go to the events. Like we talked about the Memorial Day event. We talked about our Mayor's Golf Classic on the May 29th. Our Friday Night Live series will kick off on Friday, June 5th with the Renaissance Band, and we will be performing hosting performance every Friday until August 21st, weather permitting, excluding holidays. And we are collaborating with House Heads United, who will be hosting several Friday evening sessions as well. This year's Juneteenth celebration will be held 1 month from today. So that will be held on Friday, June 19th from 3 p.m. to 7 at the Mill Creek Park. We are looking forward to a festive event and opportunity for the community to connect. And we are pleased to welcome gospel artist Anton Milton and friends as our featured performers this year. I believe regarding the events, Mr. Laurie talked about the events that are coming under the rec department. So I believe that is everything as it relates to events.
The ribbon cutting.
Oh, that was the first one. I'm so sorry. Yes. So the ribbon cutting will be tomorrow at 5:30 at the track. We will be sharing this celebration with the intro to Track Club. And then after the brief ceremony tomorrow, the residents will be invited to take a stroll with the mayor around the track. So thank you for that reminder.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Yes. Any questions? Good. All right.
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Okay, we've reached the point in our meeting for public comment. This is our general public comment. You'll have 4 minutes. Please state your name and address. There are comment cards in the back for if we need to get back to you with any answers. And if you would make a line or some sort of cue just so that we know who's speaking, that would be great. Public comment is now open. You have 4 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Council, Willenboro. Carolyn Providence, Rittenhouse. I was in the senior center 2 months ago, and I went to the neighborhood watch meeting, and I noticed that on 2 different occasions, there were rats running around in the room, and it went under that piano. If you know where the piano is, it's covered over. So I don't know what you're gonna do about that, but that was very disturbing to me. And this is the senior center at the JFK. So that was one thing. I have groundhogs in my backyard. I don't know what to do about it. I've done everything I could possibly do to get rid of it. What can be recommended to get rid of them? And then on 2 different occasions on Rayburn Lane, around 11 at night, there's someone lurking in the neighborhood. And me, my 2 neighbors, we're all very concerned about who this individual is. Can we have some sort of camera or security measure put up in the neighborhood? Because it's not a person that's known to us, and they just stand there, they're looking around, and then they leave after about 5 minutes. So those are my concerns this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Providence.
Good evening again. My name is, excuse me, my name is Janice Brown. I live at 132 Glenview Lane, Willingboro. And I am appealing for all the residents on Glenview Lane for problems that we've been having on a regular basis for years, in fact, but one in particular that is fairly new since last year are pop-up parties that we're having. And I submitted 2 emails, one to a council member and to the manager, and one to the manager concerning these problems. And they're very serious, and the neighbors, a lot of our neighbors on that street are elderly, they're senior citizens, a lot of their spouses are sick, a lot of them are sick and dying. And so I'm here, I used to be the co-captain, so I've been in this role. I've been here for 36 years, going on 37 years. So I've always been the eyes and the ears for my community, and I see a problem, and I'm really concerned about it for my neighbors, for myself, for our safety. The pop-up parties, they're advertised apparently on the internet. Somebody gives a party, there's a neighbor down the street that's a renter. She gives the parties, everybody comes, people that don't even know her. They're in the street, it's like spring break without the water and without the square footage. there's at least 200 people because I called the sergeant at the police station and he confirmed that there were over 200 people, kids, youth of all ages down to, it looked like 12 maybe, scantily dressed, running up and down the street, cursing on our land, our property, our cars. I was in my car, some poor girls sat in my car while I was in it. They're cursing out the neighbors. They're going up on their land. There's no respect. They're trashing, littering, disturbing the peace, all kinds of noise and chaos going on until like 1 in the morning. So they're beyond their curfew. And so they're violating all kinds of ordinances already. But I'm wondering, I don't know what the process is. I'm wondering if you would consider how we go about doing an ordinance, sort of like what the Gloucester County county did in terms of I think it's called the no pop-up party ordinance. And it was just recently passed, I believe, last year. And I think this is what we need, where the parents are being held responsible. These kids are coming around. There's Garfield Park Academy that's right around the corner. They have basketball courts there and they play basketball, but the real reason they come around there is because they have privacy. There's nothing but woods there. There's nothing but trees, woods. They go back there, smoke, have sex, everything. It's just ridiculous. They litter up the whole area. And then they're up and down the streets. So 1 o'clock in the morning, we call the police. The police say there's nothing they can do because they're at danger. There's too many people out there for them to stop and respond. And so we're really concerned about this. And now also, what's been ongoing for years and which has gotten worse is the drag racing that we're having on our streets, the speeding on our streets, the cars speed, the buses in the morning speed, the bicycle speed, the motorized bicycle speed, the lawn care truck speed. And I can see this, I can hear it in my room, in my bedroom, wherever I am in the house, and I can see it through my ring phone camera. And so I can see the cars zooming by, and I've been out there. In fact, I've had a car last year, our car went onto my neighbor's house to the right, into their lawn, onto my lawn, banged into my car, the front of my car. I was so thankful they didn't hit my property. They didn't hit my house or my new fence that I just put up. They started going into my other neighbor's yard, but there was a big bush that stopped it, thank God. Had I been out there with my dog, walking my dog, had my lawn care guy been out there at that time, which she should have been, had my neighbor been out there.
Sorry, Ms. Brown, that's your time.
She would have.
That's your
all would
time.
have been
Ms.
killed.
Sorry, thank you for your
So,
comment.
This is these two
Thank
concerns.
you,
I
Ms.
hope
Brown.
something can be done.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Testing. Okay, hi. How y'all doing?
What's your last name, Sherry? Thank you. Push
All right, there we go. There we go. I never come to one of these meetings before, and I decided I was going to do it because I've gotten to the point where I'm just tired of watching Willingboro go to shit. I've been here since 2001, and it was really, really nice when I moved here. But even then, I can see it going down. And it's gotten to the point where it's almost like a ghetto township because of the way that it's being ran. I came in here upset and pissed off and ready to just completely black out on all of you. And I realized as I was sitting there that I can't do that because I don't know you. I don't know what your mindset is. And I don't know where your heart is when it comes to this township. One of you hyped me down just by the way that she responded to a scenario that I was dealing with, making me understand that not everybody is just sitting there just to be sitting there. Not everybody is actually going to sit there and just allow this township to just let this place run into the ground. And I was happy to see that. So considering the fact that there was a lot of things I wanted to discuss, there was a lot of things I wanted to put out there, whatever, and I'm not going to have the time to do that now that I see how this thing is working, whatever. What I would want to do now is actually understand more of the process and how these people are, these people, you ladies and gentlemen are in these seats. How do we get our mayor? How do we get council people? How do we get deputy? Is it an election? I heard someone said in order for a mayor to be elected, that the council is actually who actually selects the mayor and stuff like that. To me, this is just insane, but this is what it is. I need to understand the structure and how this township is being ran, from the garbage to, I mean, it's the what do you call it? The public works. I take this phone and I call the Willingboro. There's only one number in the 25 years I've been calling Willingboro with issues when it comes to sanitation, whatever the case is, that will actually answer their phone. Those numbers through 1, 2 through 5, they never answer, but yet they are working or supposedly supposed to be available to us. Number 1, that option 1, yeah. Every time. If they don't pick up, they're probably in the bathroom. I call 5, 10 minutes later, they pick up. 1, 2, 3, 2 through 5, never pick up. And in 25 years, I might have gotten 2 people to pick up at one point. Bottom line is there's so much that needs to be changed. And I'm realizing as I'm standing here and listening and seeing what's going on, I have to actually start to understand Willingboro and get involved with this scenario that's going on here, because it's a piece of crap. It's a piece of crap the way this place is being ran. It's being ran down and I'm sick of it. Taxes are going up and I don't see where or why it's even going up. We've lost banks, we lost pools, we lost this, we lost that. Everything is just going to shit hell. I got 10 seconds. I'm just gonna bid y'all a good day. You will see me again. I need to figure out what's going on with Willingboro. And from what I see here today, this right here, this is not working for me. This is not working for Willingboro. It's not. Transparency. That's all she's looking for. Transparency.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. That's your time.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Green, 132 Rittenhouse Drive. This is my first meeting here. So I'm very blunt and to the point. I don't know any of you, not one of you. Point blank period. I've been here for 3 years. I don't want to piggyback off of what the gentleman said, but it is very disheartening to see what's happening to this community, right? It's even more disheartening for it to be my first time at a meeting, and I can't take away a person's feels and I can't take away your passion, right? One thing about me, I've learned this when I was a little girl, people's faces never lie, never, right? So when you look like you don't care, when you look like you're in such a dismay, when Deputy Mayor Dr. Tiffany Worthy had indicated for, I don't know how to say it correctly, but Rebecca Perone, a councilwoman, you stated what you had to say and then you indicated, and then you said, well, just for it to be such a sporadic moment, we here are going to move by your leadership, right? Because this is who we go by. But when I come here and I see that there's, and no disrespect to anyone here, there's no reason why we move the way that we move and we look like we are so dismantled and have such a disconnect from where we live. $200,000 for this gentleman is absurd, right? I live where I live. We don't have any cameras. We don't have security. They take our, and I work from home. I have 2 jobs. They throw our trash cans, right? They bust up my cars. They just throw them in the streets. But it's not even that it's your fault, right? Because I don't do the blame game. I have to take accountability for where I live. I'll call the police in 2 seconds. I'm not a snitch. I just believe that where I live matters, and everyone else should think the same way in accordance. It's not just we're at a township meeting. We as owners who live in this community, we have to take responsibility too, because everyone is elected for these chairs, right? I don't have anything against a senior citizen versus a child. I think everyone needs to be heard. I think every voice matters here. My issue with this particular meeting at hand, I call the police, no offense. They don't come. But then when there's a fight, you get 75 officers, right? The money that we pay for people to do their jobs and for the people who don't do their jobs, it is a very big disconnect from that particular situation. Even in the community, businesses are leaving, right? People, there's not a lot of family, which is what you want when you come here. When you drive through here, that's what you're supposed to see. But you don't see that. You see abandonment, you see neglect, you see abuse. When you go to these events that we have, people don't take care of the property. So it's not just a you thing, it's a us thing. So we have to find a way to come up with some kind of solution. I've only been here for 3 years. No offense. I can't be here for 25 years and not have an idea of what's happening, what's going on, where the money's going, why am I paying taxes? Like, you look at the light bill. I got the whole packet over here. It's millions and millions of dollars there for allocations, transactions. I get documentations about ordinances, allocations, payments, and vouchers. Okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, where is all this money going? This is my issue. The money needs to be put in places that we can understand what's happening. I'm one of those people, I'm a reader. I understand verbiage, right? I don't have any issue with any of that. You don't have to dummy down anything for me. I care about where I live. What I say matters. Verbiage is very important. I don't believe in underline. I read between what you say and what you don't say. We need a solution because we don't have any. The meeting for June 16th, you can come with the contracts, right? No one should be getting paid. No one should be double dipping. That's a concern. And there's too many people here that suffer and there's no solution. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justin Augustus, 68 Twisting Lane, Willingboro. My concern is, I have like 3 concerns. One is the water. One is the water. So apparently I'm paying a water bill just to bathe and to flush my toilet and to water my plants because I cannot drink that water. 2, it have a groundhog living on my property as well. Pertaining to the property, I came here, I'm here, no offense to this gentleman. I'm here 5 years now. And I came to this place and I made I had problems pertaining to my neighbor. He's on my land. He have a retaining wall on my land. I came here to dispute that 5 years ago when it was almost done. They told me the guy, Rick, got fired or he left or whatever. I came back again. I heard nothing about the situation with the retaining wall on my land. So I have a problem with certain things here that I see that is not being addressed. And this is my first time coming to a town hall meeting with my neighbor, Liddell. So it's simple with me. I didn't come here for the fun and the games. I just come here to make sure that which part I am living, I am comfortable which part I am living because I pay a lot and it's me alone. And that's my time.
Thank you, Mr. Augustus.
Good evening. I came to speak on behalf of my husband because you won't allow, Glenview Lane. You won't allow people, Tanya Brown.
Thank you.
You won't allow people to make comments via Zoom. And unfortunately, some people work overnight as he does. So he told me to come speak for him. The one concern is on Veterans Parkway. There's like a dip. I don't know if you drive it, but it's like the dip is getting deeper the more you drive. Like sometimes you have to brace yourself. It's like a roller coaster because you're going to go down, just to make sure that you take care of that before it becomes a sinkhole. And his second most biggest concern is he moved from Newark. I grew up here. And the one thing that attracted him here was at the medium, how well it was maintained. But as of lately, it looks deplorable. My husband takes care of our lawn. We don't hire a lawn service. He does it. So he's like, if you have people, we're paying our taxes, they need to do better. They need to rake up that dead grass, put dirt down, plant grass seed. They need to rip up the weeds when they put down new flowers. He was so upset the other day. He said, one of the damn guys from the township looked like they was throwing mulch out there around the dead grass when they should have just raked up the dead grass. He's like, and all these dandelions and white flowers, weeds down the side. You need to put some weed and feed down there with our tax dollars. It looks deplorable. So instead of them using weed killer to kill the weeds from the side, they need to get out the riding lawnmower and get a weed whacker. He said, take the time, put the cones out so cars won't drive by to secure yourself. Use the weed whacker and cut it with the weeds, and you won't have to do it that often if you do it right the first time. And those are my two concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Good evening. Ms. Mallory on Hudson Place. I ran out of time the last time, but I was looking at the check register by check, and I noticed that the name of a former employee, Mr. Bivogel, is on this list, and it appears that in the month of April, he was paid $2,315.72. And I'm just wondering, why are we paying Mr. Bivogel? He's no longer an employee. And I did ask the question, but I did not get an answer. The next thing is that it appears that now that the weather is warm, we have more and more scooters and electric bikes and those kinds of things all over town. The young folks are not wearing helmets. They are darting in and out of the traffic, especially on Charleston Road and on Veterans Parkway. This could be a disaster. And hopefully, you know, I'm not involved in it, but it's dangerous. And I think we need more patrol around town, Chief, to try and do something about this because it's really an issue. Today, for instance, I was on Charleston Road between Veterans and Kennedy Way, and I saw at least 3 young people riding scooters, no helmets, cutting in and out of the traffic. I'm glad that the taxpayers are informed at these meetings about what's going on. I don't recall getting a survey asking me if I'm in favor of having a jazz festival. I also learned that the budget meetings that were held at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and of course were not convenient or accessible for all council members and for many taxpayers that work. So, you know, to say that we had a budget meeting, it was discussed, you know, I'm confused about that as well. Let's see. The planners next to St. Paul United Methodist Church on Charleston Road have not been taken care of. And we would like to see the side of our church beautified like the other planters are in town. And on that, I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mallory.
Hi, good evening. I've been living here.
Your name and address, please.
My first name is Joy, J-O-Y, last name's Green, G-R-E-E-N-E, okay? I've been living in Willingboro since 1965. I wasn't born here, but we've been living here all this time. When the Jazz Festival first started out, it was in Brodeo Park in Twin Hills. It's a credit to this town, the size of this jazz festival with no problems, no killings, no deaths, and people talk about it all over the place and how nice it's put together and how well it's put together. Another thing I want to talk about is the veterans in the town not being allowed to park in the handicapped spots. This is a veteran town. I know other people live here also, but we're not taking care of what we should do with the veterans. If somebody's going to represent this town with the veterans, they should have something to do and know something about veterans. My father was in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the 1990 war. My sister was in the Marine Corps. My father lost a brother in the Vietnam War. I could go on and on and on. I don't want to be represented by somebody who knows nothing about the wars or anything else that goes on in the town either. Another thing that I want to say is, When someone sues the town, I'd like to know where that money goes to, line item by line item. Since everybody wants to know where the money goes, I want to know where that money goes when the township gets sued, okay? This town is not the same town that it was in the beginning. We did not have medium strips in the beginning of these streets. We didn't have them on Route 38. We didn't have them on 130. We didn't have this grass growing in between. We didn't have those extra trees. We have municipal people doing a job every day before most people get up in the morning. They're out there at 7 in the morning. They risk their lives being on the road while people are speeding around, going up on the curbs. That spray that's sprayed around to keep the edges clean is sprayed on Route 38 and everywhere else to protect their employees. I resent when I have people stand up in here who've been here for 5 minutes and try to put down the work that people in the town try to do and spend their time trying to do that are sitting up here. So I don't care if you've been here 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, when you say 1965, my sister says you might as well be saying before Christ, because it doesn't register and it doesn't relate to anything. Now, we lived in this town when it went up to Hawthorne, and all the other parks weren't even there. So we know what's going on here. We know how it looked. We know what was happening. We only had one supermarket at that time. It was the AMP. It closed at 5 o'clock. You depended on the one 7-Eleven that was open, and we had one 7-Eleven on Charleston Road. Now, when people move here and they start complaining that the town is going down and it's this and that, let's put the blame where it belongs. The Johnny-come-lately city slickers who come here and cost us money by defacing and defaming the school systems, which are costing us a fortune, which we didn't have that before. Our municipal taxes were low. We didn't have an income tax in this state, and we had caps on things, but the caps might as well be like Swiss cheese. The holes in them, you can't get around everything. This insulting that goes on when we're at this meeting that was talked about all over the place. I had business people calling us about the remarks that were made 3 meetings ago. People are offended that the mayor had to apologize for somebody else's remarks. We don't want an apology from you, because that isn't where the remarks came from. And this is not fair at all. You're going to insult people who are up here who have done more, and you won't look at what's really wrong, and you're here for 5 minutes in this town. Thank you, and that's it. Hi, Mrs. Hawley. Hi, Joy.
Thank you, Mrs. Green.
Joy, my dear friend,
I'm sorry, you have to address the council.
Holly, 9 Tioga.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to disagree with some of the comments that you've made. But you know what? Since you're talking about what happened 3 meetings ago, and I wasn't going to say this, but I had some other things, one of which had to do with my conversation with the mayor. Maybe I should talk about this first real quick. There are some major concerns around the county and the country about the Citizen Bank and their support for funding the ICE facilities. I called Mayor Whitfield yesterday. She actually picked up the phone and talked to me, which I was surprised. And I voiced my concern about Citizen Bank and whether or not the municipality had any accounts in Citizen Bank. She said she didn't know, that she would get back to me. I just would like to inform the community that there are several organizations around the county that are currently picketing, protesting in front of Citizen Bank. So I hope that we do not have any money in Citizen Bank, because they should not be funding those detention center, ICE detention center. Now, I'm going to run out of time, but I know that. At the last meeting, we talked about the comments that were made, and there was an effort to start a recall. And I got up at the last meeting and I talked about the 10 ways by which a council person can be recalled. And I'm not going to have enough time to go through all of these, but a council person cannot be recalled just because of some comments. There's some other things going on by which council members can be recalled. And looking at you up there, every last one of you can fall in one of these categories, everyone. And just because you just voted for something, it's still unethical and it's illegal. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I know my time's going out. 1, misuse of taxpayers' fund. Ethical violation of conflict of interest. criminal charges or convictions, ignoring constituents, that's what you did tonight, excessive tax increases, nepotism or favoritism, poor governance decision, again tonight, lack of transparency, again tonight, absenteeism from meetings and from the community. Now, next meeting, I'm going to give you some examples of each one of them, and one of which is allegations. I'm going to tell each one of you how you are violating these ethics statutes, because all of you are violating them in some way, fashion, or form. And I've been here for almost 50 years. And these people, if they're paying taxes here, they have a right to say whatever the heck they want. And if you're not paying taxes here, you should keep your mouth closed.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. All right, seeing no others, public comment is now closed. All right, we'll start on some comments about the senior center. Ms. Carmichael, I know there's been some extermination efforts in the senior center and in JFK building. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so the administration is aware of the rodent issue, and the township regularly has pest control come out. I can get the schedule. However, in addition to the rodent issue, we've added an additional service to remediate the mice issue just at that building. And so all of the staff have been asked if they see anything, that the company will come out as often as we need to until until they're gone. So if you see them at noon, they'll call and come, and if somebody says they see them at 3, they'll come back. If you see them on Tuesday, then you see them again on Wednesday, and they'll come back, and they've been coming back. So it's kind of been double duty for the pest control.
Okay.
So we're aware and we're fixing it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There were a few for our police, about police. We'll start with suspicious behavior in Rittenhouse.
So in reference to any suspicious behavior or any type of activity that seems out of the normal, go ahead and dial 911 and we'll respond out to that location. I know they mentioned something as, cameras. That's up to the, it was in Rittenhouse. That's up to that association to figure out if they want to put any type of surveillance cameras out there. But anytime you see anything suspicious or out of order, dial 911 and we'll respond. We'll respond, get a good description, location, direction of travel, and yeah, we'll respond out every single time.
All right. And there were a couple questions about pop-up parties that
Yes. So pop-up parties have been an issue throughout New Jersey. We've worked in collaboration with the county. They monitor social media. Some of the things that you get into the issue with is identifying the location or the promoter. So normally they'll come out on social media. Hey, this is a big type of party. DM me or do whatever for a location, and then we try to find out those locations. In January, Governor Murphy signed a law into effect. It holds promoters or residents more accountable for those pop-up parties, and also with the adoption of the new ordinance that was adopted today, it gives us a little more teeth to be able to hold people more accountable. I am somewhat familiar of the ordinance that would happen in Gloucester Township. That ordinance was there's a lot of steps in that to be able to hold the parents accountable. But I am aware of that ordinance that was down in Gloucester Township. But I think what kind of helped us a little bit more was that the governor signing that law into effect back in January of this year.
Okay, so we do have some things in place, and if a pop-up party happens on someone's street, what should they do?
Call us, definitely call us. And we do run into situations where there are large numbers of children, or large numbers of, I'll say, young adults, where, we could have, let's say we have 10 police officers working. There could be 200 or 200 plus young adults in participation at that type of party. We will call for mutual aid. And then it's kind of, it's one of those things where you may be putting yourself at risk if you start arresting with, say, there's 15, 20 police officers there versus 200, 300 young adults. Those are kind of some of the things that we run into, and some of the challenges that we face when we have these large gatherings and large parties.
Okay, but you do respond to the calls.
Yes.
Also about the speeding throughout town, either in vehicles or on the electric bikes and scooters.
I know Glenview Lane was referenced earlier in the in the questioning. We have put speed trailers out on Glenview Lane to monitor that speed. We do have a traffic safety unit that works Monday through Friday, 40 some hours a week, that target different locations alongside our patrol officers, 24/7 that work throughout the municipality, enforcing motor vehicle violations and motor vehicle laws.
All right.
E-bikes.
Yeah.
So the next one is e-bikes. E-bikes again has become a issue throughout the state. The state has just, I think Governor Cheryl, she just introduced, or a law has been passed in reference to e-bikes. It comes in effect July 19th of this year. So there's a lot of information that goes out that has come out with the e-bikes. You have to have the bike registered, insured, and be licensed, and no matter what age, you have to wear a helmet. Some of the challenges that we get into with e-bikes is the same challenges that we have with motorcycles, dirt bikes, and vehicles. If we go to stop them and they don't stop, by New Jersey AG guidelines, we can't pursue any type of vehicle for just a motor vehicle violation. So we have to have a lot more justification to pursue, whether it's an e-bike, motorcycle, dirt bike, or vehicle. So those are some of the challenges that we have when we go to try to enforce, these motor vehicle laws. Is, we attempt to stop the vehicle or to stop the e-bike, and next thing you know, they're a lot more mobile than our police vehicles, and they take off on us. If we pursue that bike for a motor vehicle violation, we're in violation of the departmental policy, plus we're in violation of the AG guidelines. So those are some of the challenges that we have with, the e-bikes. I believe the e-bike law, 15 years and older have to be licensed, but if you have a regular driver's license, that qualifies for you to drive or buy an e-bike. And I think if you're 15 years and younger, I believe you can't drive an e-bike.
So we do have those ordinances already in place, and
That's an actual law. That's a motor vehicle law that'll come into effect July 19th. They gave a 6-month grace period to get us and to educate, the communities of what these new changes to the laws are. And July 19th, those motor vehicle laws will come into effect. We would be able to effectively enforce those laws.
Okay. And I know that's very helpful. I know a lot of the our young residents have a lot of questions about e-bikes and the motorized scooters. So if the department can work with the communications team to put that information out, make sure that the residents have that.
And there is a difference between an e-bike and one of the motorized scooters. Correct.
Okay.
And they are, and I agree, they are dangerous. Some of them go up to 35, 40 miles an hour, and they ride them like recklessly.
Yeah, they do. So I guess we'll, do our best, continue to do your best with the youth and make sure that that information goes out, so that students and e-bike riders, motor scooters riders have that information as a new law.
Yes, ma'am. I believe we've already put stuff out on our social media, but I'll make sure I'll get with Ms. Jackson.
I think that might have been all for that was the speeding, the drag racing and speeding. All right, I think that was all for the police. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Bucks. And can we talk about the groundhogs? We had a couple residents talk about groundhogs on their property. Ms. Carmichael, is there a policy with our animal control or oh, Chief, that might still be you.
So Our animal control, they don't deal with, they deal with domestic animals. They do not deal with wild animals. You know, we get calls for the groundhogs, we get calls for, you know, birds in the attic. That's pest control. That wasn't even when we had our own animal control, that wasn't something that they did. It's pest control. So anything groundhog related, mice related, you know, we've gotten calls for, you know, raccoons, you know, in the attic, birds in the attic, squirrels, though that's pest control. It's not animal control. It's nothing that we, you know, we'll respond out there and give that information if somebody calls us, but yeah, it's pest control.
Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, we can't take comments from the audience at this time. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
So I just want to add to Chief's comments. I recently had a situation, so I have birds in my attic. So I did call the police, and they came out. Animal Control, Willingboro Animal Control, came out. The first thing that they do is a police officer comes to your house and inspect to see if it's something that they would handle. So, like Chief said, dogs, cats, things like that. However, anything that's a wild animal, you would call New Jersey Animal Control, and they work out something with you where they come out, inspect it, and they will take care of what they need to do because they are the professionals. So if an animal was dead in your property, like a deer or what is it, the groundhog, the animal control can pick it up and take it. But if it's alive and disturbing your property, that's when you would call New Jersey Animal Control, and they were very responsive. They're still working with me. So just wanted to share my recent story about that.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Prime. We had a question about the government process. So yes, Mr. Powell, thank you for coming this evening. We are under the Faulkner Act here in this municipality. So we have 5 council members, as you can see. Each are elected to the council, and then the council selects amongst ourselves who will represent the council as the mayor and deputy mayor. We don't have a strong mayor system. So with that, the council has to vote on the issues. The mayor does not, or the council, even for that matter, does not interact directly with the employees, direct the employees to do that. All that is done through the township manager. So we're under the Faulkner Act. It's called the mayor or the council manager form of government. So if you should need more information on that, you can grab some from the municipal clerk's office. There was also a question about township phone numbers not picking up. Ms. Carmichael, I know we've been working on or doing some maintenance on the phone system. Would you be able to talk about that?
Yes, and I can follow up with our office and then have a complete answer back to you. But that is something that we're working on. I don't have the phone sheet memorized, so I'm not able to say what press 1, 2, 5. I can't give you a direct answer. So I'm not, but we will look at what departments those are, but that is under construction. So it will be coming soon to be a new phone system.
And Mr. Powell, if you can make sure that our clerk has your information, email address, and phone number, so that we'll be able to get back, our deputy clerk, Ms. Scott, we'll be able to get back to you with that information that
Madam
you
Mayor?
requested. Yes.
Just regarding the form of governance additionally. So the form of governance, each council member is voted by the community, and they serve a 4-year term. So amongst the body of the 5, they, amongst themselves, pick one person to represent as mayor and deputy mayor. Typically, they pick whoever they like. You can see that, right? Okay. So the mayor is considered a superficial title. What she or he does is they do operate in setting the agenda for this meeting. They more on a day-to-day basis work with the township manager to make sure that they've contacted the attorney and gotten everything that we're going to discuss at this very same meeting. And that's pretty much how it's ran in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. All right. There was also some questions about from Ms. Green about the governance, or I guess issues that are happening in Rittenhouse. I also am a resident of Rittenhouse, and I understand your frustration. Unfortunately, there is a line between what the township can control and what the HOA can control. The HOA, I can't speak too much about it, but there are some things happening in HOA, and they were mandated to have some elections just recently. Those elections got rescheduled for, I think, the third time, and they did not take place. So Rittenhouse residents, there are some folks that are getting together to discuss the issue, and I suggest you contact any of the information that has been given out in that park to discuss some of the issues and what's going on in the HOA. Mr. Augustus, you had a question about the water bill. So here in Willingboro, we have 3 separate entities. We have the school board that are separately elected. We have the Willingboro Municipal, WMUA, Willingboro Municipal Utilities Authority, who are appointed members that govern over the water source in our utility authority. And then we also have the township council. So the water authority does have their own separate meetings where they talk about all the issues and any challenges with the system. They can answer your questions more fully there. And Miss Scott, our deputy clerk, will be able to get you the information over there. Their website is wmua.info if you want to see what's going on in the water authority and have any questions on that end. There was another groundhog, and then the retaining wall. Ms. Carmichael, would Mr. Tunstall maybe be able to come up and speak to that? Do you know anything about that? Okay. If you don't know anything about it, maybe you can get the information. Okay. At the mic.
An issue pertaining to property lines are typically civil issues that are resolved between both property owners. Yes. Can I finish? We can assess whether or not an item is on the property line, but in terms of any type of legal actions, that has to be a civil matter. I haven't been made aware of an issue with a retainer wall, but if there is something we can do, we can help them review their surveys and try to give them an opinion. However, it becomes a civil matter.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Tunstall. And Mr. Augustus, if you could make sure that the comment card, if the comment card can be given to the clerk, then we can make sure you get the contact information for inspections department and be able to discuss the issue further. All right. Ms. Brown had made a comment about the Veterans Parkway dip, the dip in the road on Veterans Parkway. Veterans Parkway is a county road, but Ms. Carmichael, I know they're doing some work on that.
Yes, and I can, as long as the clerk has her information, we can get back to her. I know that dip has come up in discussion to be placed on the list for remediation, so we are aware. And we'll look into that, and I will get back to you.
Okay. Thank you. The median maintenance, the maintenance of the medians is underway. We had a lengthy discussion about it here at the council meetings, and Public Works has been out there edging, raking up the dead grass, putting down fertilizer and compost to build up the soil around the edge after years of damage. I see them out there when I drive around town, so it is being remediated. It isn't going to happen overnight, but Department of Public Works is working on that. Ms. Mallory, you had a question about a checkmate payment to Mr. Bravogel, and I had the same question. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I saw that on the bills list, and I had the same question. But our employees, after they retire, they do get a health insurance stipend. That's for all employees that retire from the township, and that's what that check was. Am I correct, Ms. Carmichael?
So is that reoccurring?
I'm sorry.
You're correct.
Okay, so is Ms. Diggs, you got to come up to the mic, ma'am.
Retirees who have worked here for 20 or more years get 50% of the healthcare reimbursed.
Okay, and is that a monthly payment?
Yeah, it all depends how frequently they send a bill to get reimbursed.
Okay. Thank you. All right, a little bit about the budget meetings. Yes, we did have the budget discussions and reviews at 4 p.m. We've had them at 4 p.m. for the last few years. Those meetings are also that it's an introduction and a discussion, but those meetings are also available online, and the township manager as well as the staff is open for discussion at any time throughout the week and at any time during budget meetings. So it's not the only time that we discuss the budget, but it is the time that we have live public discussion. But it is open to any council member to discuss further, make an appointment with the township manager, and discuss the budget separately to air their concerns, thoughts, and anything like that. The planners next.
Madam Mayor, with the
Yes,
budget
Councilwoman.
meetings, so the budget meetings that were held at 4 o'clock, I did express that part of this position, it's a part-time position, which is why we meet at 7 p.m. I did express that at 4 p.m. I'm at my daytime job. I did express that we have technology that we pay for, so this way we can have intra-dialogue where I can speak if I'm observing the meeting. You voted not to move forward with dialogue via Zoom. Thirdly, those meetings that took place are not available virtually, because when I went home, I did try to play it back. They're not up there. None of them are. Okay, so not only did you X out the community from speaking during the budget meeting, you also did not allow it to be available to even view. And what you said at the last meeting was, email me your questions. So I think you're doing the community a disservice by continuing to ignore the fact that they want to speak. They want to have input about the budget. And honestly, I want their input too, because we're just 5 people. We're one community. Yes, we're elected here, it's 5, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of intelligent people here as well. So a dialogue on what we would like to see with our money, I think we should do better as far as engaging them and making it available at 7 o'clock when we discuss the budget, and not at 4 o'clock when the community's at work, providing for their family so they can pay the high taxes. So wanted to add that to the discussion because this is not the first time you've heard me say that.
Thank you, Councilwoman Farrar.
You're welcome.
Also, speaking of I'll come back to that. We had some planters, a question about planters from Ms. Mallory. Ms. Carmichael, if you would talk to DPW about the planters next to St. Paul's Church.
Yes.
We had another questions about taxes, money from lawsuits, and like the breakdown of money. So just for public knowledge, the tax rate is made up of a number of different entities. It's a municipal tax. It's also the county tax, the library tax, as well as the school tax. I will tell you, because I've been working on this budget for and on this council for the last 7 years. Over the last 4 years, the municipal tax has either gone down slightly or stayed flat, and we've worked very diligently to do that. On the other hand, the school board tax has not, and the school board tax has gone up, which negates the effect that we've been trying to have in maintaining flat municipal taxes. The appearance is that we keep raising taxes because the school board tax continues to go up. And it's anticipated another increase this year. So I understand the frustration. I am also frustrated because we put a lot of work into trying to balance the budget, into trying to optimize the expenses, and it's not felt by the community because the county tax goes up and the school board tax goes up. So yes, I am also frustrated as well with the tax rate, but that is how the tax is broken down. If you have questions on the school board tax, those have to go to those elected officials that are over at the school board managing the school budget. We pay the school board what they are owed in taxes because that is how the taxes are collected. The taxes are collected by the municipality, and then we make a payment to the school district. But all of the taxes that you pay, whether it is school, whether it is county, whether it's the municipal tax, all comes into the municipality and then gets paid out to the other entities. I think, well, yes, you can, if you have any questions on lawsuits, money, how those lawsuit payments have broken down, you can put in an open through our clerk's office and they will be able to get that information for you. And then there was a question about veterans using handicap parking spots. I'm not sure if you have any information on that, Ms. Carmichael, but if we need to, we can get back to Ms. Green on that.
Yeah, we can get back. I do need a little bit more clarity on what specifically she's speaking to.
Okay.
As long as
Ms.
we have a
Green, if you can just make sure that we have your contact information, the clerk has your contact information so that we can discuss. So, okay, thank you, Ms. Green. So if we have your contact information, we'll be able to speak with you a little more in depthly, or yeah, a little more fully about the handicap parking spots. And then Ms. Holly, you had a question about Citizens Bank. I did talk to the administration. We use TD Bank, so we do not use Citizens Bank. I'm glad I get a clap from you today. That makes me feel good. Um, so yes, we are not into that whole Citizens Bank issue. And I'm glad that we're not, especially with the issues that you laid out. So yes, it's very concerning what people are supporting at this time. We especially don't support ICE raids and unsanctioned ICE activity within our municipality. And our police are always alerted to when ICE is active. Sometimes I will have to say, sometimes it's not always ICE. Sometimes it may be a SWAT operation or the FBI that is conducting a search. So I know we've had some reports of ICE within the community. Some of those were police operations from other agencies and not ICE. So just for that information. All right, council, did I miss anything? I got pretty much everything. All right. All right, thank you all for the comments. We'll have to talk to you after because public comment is over. I'm sorry, Mr. Powell. I wish I could, but I can't. All right. So with that, we will go to council comment. Any council comment? All right. Councilwoman Pearl.
Thank you. So our last meeting was May 5th, which was actually Cinco de Mayo's Day. Unfortunately, the mayor decided to talk about a council meeting and not recognize a group of people who we are so proud to recognize them. So Cinco de Mayo, I will attempt to do that this evening. Cinco de Mayo, it's celebrated based off of 1862, when there was a French war, when the French invaded Mexico, and Mexico, having being the smaller army, beat and defeated the French. So in America, they started recognizing it, and it started in California in 1983 to celebrate their victory and how amazing they were at their battle. Then we started celebrating all over the US, so now it's known as a national holiday. So but it's not their Independence Day, just so people understand that as well, that it's not the Mexican Independence Day, but it is a time that we recognize how they were amazing and strong and beat the crap out the French at that time, okay? So according to her statement, she said it's about inclusion. Cinco de Mayo is not about inclusion. Cinco de Mayo is exactly what I just said it's about, celebrating their victory. So Madam Mayor, before you write a statement, again, that must be voted on by the community. That's another point about the 5. Nobody singularly goes and makes a public statement about anyone, regardless of your feelings about the council member. I know that you don't really care for me very much, but again, if you want to write a statement about anybody, you must get it voted at this meeting and not in your own opinion. And before you read about any nationality's history and recognize their celebration, open up some history books and bring the facts. Because also, who are the experts with landscaping? Research that too. That's at the April 17th meeting, okay? No apologies needed, Ms. Green. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Any other council comment? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to let the community know that the work of Willingboro Township happens beyond just the meetings on first and third Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Council members are available via phone and via email. If you have questions or concerns, if you see something on the agenda and you'd like to discuss it, you can always reach out. If you have questions about the process or how to become an elected official, you can reach out to us. My email is tworthy@willingboronj.gov, and everyone else's contact information is on the website as well. And I encourage residents to continue to get involved and stay involved. Welcome to those whose first time is coming out tonight. And we look forward to seeing more of you coming out to ask your questions. If you're interested, like I said, in having more conversation beyond the 4 minutes, we're available beyond just the meeting so that you can ask your questions and help us to be part of the solution and solving some of the challenges that we have in Willingboro. Believe it or not, we are one team, we are one council, and our goal is to work together to serve the residents. While we have different approaches, some of us like to do everything on first and third Tuesdays. Others try to do some things before the meeting. We all just work different. We have different approaches, different styles, but the goal is to serve Willingboro residents and to make sure that our community is a place that we can be proud of, a place where we're able to bring businesses, where our community can flourish. So it is a common mission and a common vision, a common goal. How we get there is sometimes we have some creative tension, but the goal still remains the same, and that is to create a community that we're all proud of. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy. Any other council comment?
Oh,
I'm sorry, you already.
January 1st, 2027, there are 3 seats that will be vacant. So if you're interested, put your petitions
They
in.
have it.
I wanted just to add that. January 1st, 2027, 3 seats will be vacant at the council. Petitions will be due April 2007.
All right, great. Thank you, Councilwoman Perron.
You're welcome.
I know we had a lot of new faces here tonight. I want to say welcome in my time for public comment. Thank you for coming out. I wasn't born in Willingboro, but I've been in Willingboro since I was 4 years old. I'm a product of the Willingboro school system. I care deeply about this town. I went back to school and got my master's degree in city planning and community and economic development for this town because I was inspired by the work that I didn't see happening on the council, and I helped successfully pass a new master plan this year using the education that I was inspired to go get because of what was happening in this town. I will just address some of the things that were just accused of me. I did acknowledge Cinco de Mayo at the last meeting. I did not say that it was about inclusion. I did not say that it was Mexican Independence Day. And I realized that some of the council members have made statements that were insensitive and in poor taste about certain ethnic groups in our community. They were called to the carpet about that, and now they're trying to deflect the attention to get the heat off of them about that. I'm sorry, this is my time.
Your poor
I'm sorry, this is my
Your
time.
poor
You
statement
had your
was already
time to
posted.
speak.
You said it's about inclusion. Please read what you posted.
And I didn't
Please read
say
what you
that. The
posted.
statement that was
Cinco de Mayo is
posted.
not about inclusion, nor is it about a
what I
council meeting. Did you vote to post a statement about me? Now you want respect? Yeah, respect begets respect.
So what was posted was a statement that I
incorrect. It's
made.
not about
was a
Cinco de Mayo.
statement that I made at the council
It's
meeting.
not about, you said it's Cinco de Mayo.
I did
want to state
acknowledge
about
Cinco
inclusion
de
of all
Mayo.
people. Please, please, no more. I don't want to hear any more garbage out of your mouth.
What I'd
That's
like
what I
to
don't-
say is that you get
You want to make a statement
what I
about me?
say. What I will
Ask me
say is
about
that
the
you
statement.
get
Okay?
get the
Yeah, you said
council
nothing.
that
Just
you
say
elect.
nothing more.
You get the
Nothing
council.
more.
Councilwoman Perone, I
No.
gave you respect. I allowed you to
Respect?
speak.
You talked lies about a celebration of Cinco de Mayo, and now you want respect? Please, earn it.
Councilwoman
Earn
Perone,
it.
I'm not going to repeat
Earn
the
it. You're
statements
not
that
going
you
to repeat
said
it.
about
You're
that
not.
community.
I already made it clear.
I'm not going
I
to
made it
repeat the
clear
comments
what
that
Cinco
you
de Mayo
said
is
about that community, but
It's not about you.
but I digress.
Yes,
I'd like
please
to I'd like to finish my council.
It depends on what you say. It depends.
I allowed you to
I
have
don't
your
care.
time
I
without
didn't
being
think
interrupted.
about me anywhere.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out
That's
tonight.
right. Have a good
I'd
night.
like to encourage you to not
Yes.
just come tonight. Don't make this about tonight. There are things that are happening.
Yep, like
and I'll tell
taxes
you
not used
sometimes,
for dollars. to
and I
cut the
tell
grass
you
and pick up
sometimes
the trash.
when you only come to one meeting, you
will not
only get
to-
a snippet of
a
one
snippet.
episode.
That's all they're going
And
to
I
post. is a
encourage
snippet.
you. I encourage you to
So
stay
do
for
I.
the entire season.
January
I encourage you
2027.
to follow the
Remove the
conversation
trash
that we
from the board.
week after week.
Yes.
When people do not
Yes.
engage with
When
the
you don't know what's going on, you're only going to hear
they
partial.
come on
Yes,
one meeting
yes.
when it's time to vote on an issue.
I just
and
hope
cause
that
a
you
big
finally
thing
know
out
what
of
Cinco de
it.
Mayo
I'd
is
like for
about.
you to follow the full
Yes,
season
follow the
of
full
council
season.
meeting,
Yes,
the
about
real life
yes,
council
yes,
meeting in Willingboro.
yes.
To make your decision about
Yes,
who we are
yes,
and who
yes.
cares about this community
Yeah.
and who does not.
$2,000,
Some of us have been on the
$200,000
council
for the jazz
for over
festival.
16 years,
Yes.
and things
Please,
have only started
please.
happening.
Play with
when
your
there was
blocks.
a change
Adjourn the
7 years
meeting.
ago.
Please play with
Thank
your
you all
blocks.
for coming
Please
tonight.
play
We
with
do
your
have
blocks.
executive session. Madam Deputy Clerk. Before we do executive session, I'd like to extend the meeting for another 30 minutes, Mr. Hunt. All right, 30 minutes until 10:30.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
All right. Because we had an opposition, let's do a roll call, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman Perone,
No.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
and Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. Thank you. Now the resolution for executive
Yes,
session.
can I get a motion for resolution authorizing a closed executive session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Meetings Act for the matters of personnel, attorney-client privileges?
No, not personnel.
Okay. Attorney-client privileges? Can I
Mm.
get a motion to go into executive and contracts?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Yes. Councilwoman Perone,
No.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. I'd just like to point out who's staying for executive session and who's not. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Yes. May I get a motion to come out of executive session?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we have no decisions after coming out of executive session, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Good night, Willingboro.
The time is now 10:31 and Willingboro Council meeting is